And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month, another edition here of the KungFu Cup, the KungFu Cup week monthly number 3, the November monthly day number 1. I'm of course just VIP with enjoyed by these amazing players, by the people in chat, by my flashies as well. Welcome, one and all. I do apologize for going live a little bit late here. Totally didn't sleep in and just wake up. I did. It's fine, Bobby. It's fine. Aye. But we are back with something different, something special, with a replay cast. Again, these events did occur a week ago, a little bit more than a week ago, but we're here to catch up with those replays. Unfortunately, this event did actually clash. It clashed with another event with a lot of our casting that was currently going on, so we're here to catch on up with KungFu Cup. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. Again, shout out to SC Boy. They're the organizers of KungFu Cup, and KungFu Cup did recently mark its return after the announcements of the return of the Chinese server. The Chinese server is coming back online. There's been a bunch of celebrations, a bunch of tournaments, a bunch of show matches organized, and of course KungFu Cup returning in full force as well. So it's been great to see kind of like the growth and the continued support from SC Boy, and of course a lot of hype and excitement around the return of the Chinese server. Let's go up first. And when it comes to the main event itself, it is a double elimination bracket. Here we go. Let's switch the scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. But as you can see here, it is double elimination. We'll do my best to try to set it up here. Un momento, papi, un momento. Oh, beautiful. But it is going to be a double elimination bracket. As you can see here, we have our upper bracket quarterfinals. We have a Classic versus Solar, we have a herO versus Kiora, Reynor versus Gumiho, and Showtime versus Mana. In today's broadcast, we do have 4 series. 4 series is going to be best of 3s. Later on in the tournament, that's when we have our best of 5s and even greater matches and greater series. But for now, we have our initial best of 3s ready for us here, the upper bracket quarterfinals. And now first, we have Classic and Solar facing off in that best of 3 ZVP. Let's go. Let us go. Game 1 is going to be on Title Citadel as we load into our first series of the broadcast. Once again, when it comes to our matches here, Solar has been having a lot of success specifically in ZVP, and we'll see that success continues here as well. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the Blue Protoss. For Virtus Pro, it is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg representing Falcons. It is a Solar. Here we go. And again, if you've been following the CranKy Ducklings over the past 3 weeks against Solar, he has been excelling in this matchup. We've been seeing non-stop 3-base all-ins, 3-base all-in after 3-base all-in after 3-base all-in. Has been very successful here in the ZVPs, and we'll see how Classic compares. We'll see how Classic is going to approach this matchup as well, considering the shifts in the meta. Now, what's important about ZVP, and very quickly getting into and delving into why we've seen a rise of all-ins, is because of the map pool. These maps here, whether it's Title Citadel, whether it is the Old Republic, or whether it is Tourmaline or Ruby Rock or 10,000 feet, a lot of these maps actually have exposed bases and have difficult to defend 4-base setups, as opposed to the previous map pool. In the previous map pool, it was much more viable to go for a Stargate opener into +1 and into Forge and Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Early Storm, into a defensive setup on 4 bases. But even here, as you can see, we do have a very spread out 4-base setup here. The 3rd and 4th base are very far apart, so it does make it difficult to rotate between the bases and to defend the bases. On top of that, we have this accessible ramp here that you can knock down to open up the area and to have a 3rd attack path in between the bases as well. So it can be very awkward to actually pull off a defensive build and defensive style on Title Citadel. On most maps, to be honest, on most maps in this tournament map pool. There are some maps where it is easier to defend. I'm thinking of Winter Madness, for example. Winter Madness, White Rabbit. There's some maps where you can secure yourself 4 bases, but they are fewer and farther between as opposed to the others. And that's also why we've been seeing a lot of rise in popularity of 3-base all-ins, as they have been much more successful here to break the defending trolling player. So the ZVP meta has shifted quite a bit. On top of that, with the buff to Banelings, it also means that Banelings survive extra ticks of Storm. So Storm is a powerful zoning tool, that is true, but at the same time, Banelings are now surviving storms, making it through them, and now are more effective and more of a danger as well to the defending Protoss when it comes to trying to preserve your High Templar and preserve your bases. So again, there's a big factors coming in, and as a result, we've seen Protoss players stop going for these more defensive and greedier builds. We have seen more of an aggressive change here, even from the Protoss side of things in PvZ. That's where players like herO have been excelling quite a bit, and we'll see how Classic also responds. For now, the Solo going for his third. Just hatch gas pool into a third base. Likewise, we do have our Stargate opening into Oracle play at a Classic. So far the opener is as it should be. So far we're settling in. Calming down, calming down. As Classic going to continue to shade, he's just checking for gases, checking for tech, checking for early Evo chambers, early Rotorns, early anything here from the side of Solar. Likewise, Solar has been having a plethora of builds available to him as well, whether it's Ling, Bane, Hydra all-ins, whether it's German taxis. So eyes are going to be on Solar. Yeah, the Oracle takes a lot of hits getting into the natural. There is no Spore. Drone's going to be going down, but the Oracle has taken a lot of damage already here, and we'll get 2 drones before pulling out, before pulling away. So a lot of damage. It's an okay start here, but Classic does keep the Oracle alive. But I'd say a better position for Solar just because of how low the Oracle is. Behind this, early Twilight Council. So Twilight Council's on the way. This does look like early Blink. The other option would be early Glaives. We'll keep an eye on any kind of Forge timing. But again, this has become a little more common from the side of Classic, is early tech. Orca dips in, gets 2 more drones, 4 in total, pulls away, does pull away in time, extra gateways, and there's a delayed Forge. So because the Forge is delayed, that means there should not be Glaives. There's a higher chance it's going to be Charge or Blink, leaning more towards Blink here. And if it is going to be Blink Stalkers, then that leads into a very early Blink timing, which we can make use of. Show us what you got. Meanwhile, we have our vanilla depths moving out. So we have 6. There it is. Blink is on the way. And the Classic is going to be threatening that third. Now, once again, when it comes to this early Blink timing here, this does allow Classic to apply pressure to the 4th base, to be active, aggressive, apply pressure, and maybe even force a cancel. As Depths do shade into the bases. Blinks are keeping up, Adepts are locked down, and yeah, no major damage here from Classic. Also, I should quickly add to, yes, he's hitting early Blink, but as you can see here, that is a Templar Archives. We are not going for a gateway explosion. We're not going for an early Blink timing. Looks like this early Blink may just be defensive as we get into earlier Storm. So this is more of like the traditional ZVP that we've been seeing over the past year of play, and this is kind of what we saw a lot of last season. I would say that this is less effective at the moment, and specifically on Tidal Citadel, Solar he expands towards Classic, going for the gold. So a massive boosted economy here for Solar. It's going to be difficult to hold. It is going to be a tough hold. The Lings they poke in, drop into the main base. Hydra production has begun, and Solar is cutting workers at 63. He can of course Maynard. He should of course Maynard over towards the gold. Fun fact: I think this is the first ZVP that we're casting here on Tidal Citadel. Like I haven't, just because I haven't seen players take this gold before, and it just makes sense. It does make sense. Queens are pushing in. Its own Classic here to turtle up. So he's throwing down his shield batteries, his cannons, warping in more Head Templar, gathering more Storm. As we mentioned, once we saw the Templar Archives, that told us that we were not going to be hitting an early timing. And Classic is going to try to turtle up. And we spoke about this. Now, these rocks are different to the rocks on Tokamak. If you remember, on Tokamak, there were 2 layers of elevation before actually getting onto the rocks themselves. It was actually quite difficult as the aggressing player to knock down the rocks on Tokamak. Here, a lot more accessible. It's a lot more accessible, already taking some damage. Classic has to be wary. Pokes in, pulls away. Ooh, gets us around on 2 of those Stalkers. Oh, on 1 Stalker. It's 1 in the end. Once again, Rocks are being knocked down. Solar, he may now jump towards the goal base, and you can see Solar, he's not droning. He's not droning up. This is only for Larva, so he's on a, technically he's on a 4-base economy, but with a boosted economy thanks to the gold minerals. Oracle goes down, and here comes the all-in. And even greater all-in here for Solar. He's rallying forward. He's on 6 gases. Storms are coming in. Storms will connect. So he lands 2 storms. I just say pull away. Nice concave. Oh. And he should be getting behind the mineral line. Yeah, the high tempo exposed. Losing 1 high tempo already. Down to 5. 5 tempo left. Ooh. Storms, a somewhat connect. Yeah, 3 storms go down. Hydras are falling. But the problem here is that Solar, he's traded well enough. Now there is 0 high tempo left, and we're just rallying. At this point, we're just rallying in. Solar, he does want to preserve those Hydras, though, as he's reinforcing with mainly Ling. There we go, gets us up the Archon. Gets 1, gets 2. And Solar, he's not going to stop. Just building up. Oh. Storm connects. And again, that was the final storm. So no more storms. Archon's going to go down. We're down to a handful of Stalkers. The boys are being pulled, and Solar, he's done it. He has broken this position. He's broken the expansion. And again, this is not just a 4-base all-in, but a boosted all-in thanks to the gold base, thanks to the minerals. If this does hit even harder, and it's even more difficult to defend. And again, I'm not too fond of the build choice here from Classic. GG gets called. Solar, he'll take game number 1. He'll take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a bold move here for Classic to go for this, like, quote-unquote older style of more defensive play, but as we were trying to emphasize at the start of the series, like, this kind of play is weaker in the current patch, in the current map pool, not just as, but specifically here on Tidal Citadel, and this is applicable to some of these other maps. There are certain bases, whether it's gold bases or whether it's high-yield gas bases, that the aggressing player can take to punish a player that's turtling up, so it can be even more difficult here to kind of maintain that 4-base setup. GG. GG, well played. With that, Solar takes the lead in the series. Now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Green Protoss player, we have the Blue Protoss down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. Representing Virtus Pro, it is a classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Zerg player, the Red Zerg player himself. Representing Team Falcons, it is a Solar. So I'm just setting up some of the other matches. Just setting up. Beautiful. Beautiful. From here, welcome one and all to the Old Republic. The Old Republic is a larger map in the map pool. That is true. It's a very large map, but similarly to Tidal Citadel, I mean, I say similarly, it's a bit of a different kind of scenario and situation. Here, the 4th base is very spread out. It's very spread thin here when it comes to the linear 4th expansion. The area between this base and this base is quite long, quite large, and you expand further away from your natural location. So rotating between your 4th and your natural can be very difficult. We have seen players try to solve this issue. On top of that, it's very open. It's very open, very wide entrance into this 4th base. On top of that, players have tried to expand on the low ground instead, going for the low ground 4th expansion, but it's also very accessible here. It's very accessible. You have a massive flank and a massive concave pushing into this expansion, so many Protoss and Terra players have struggled and failed to defend on 4 bases. We've seen 3 base play be relatively successful, that is true, but getting a 4th base up and running is insanely difficult here in this matchup, specifically on this map. So we'll see how Classic does adjust. I don't like the idea of Classic going with the same build he just went for last game. So we'll see. We shall see. So far, Solar Force take the unnatural natural as well. Does expand here at the 3rd location. Does expand elsewhere. Yeah, so now there's that Stargate back at home. Standard opener, just going for the Stargate. Solo getting his 3rd. We're joining, and we're just waiting for the early tech. We're waiting to see if we have an early Evo chamber, if we do get into early Twilight Council play. Unlike the last map, there is no high yield gold base, but there is a high yield gas geyser. I would say that if Classic were to try to be defensive and to try to turtle up, not just the fact that the bases are exposed, but the aggressing player can take this high yield gas geyser base to get further tech and to try to rush into a greater late game. With a faster gas geyser like this, you can actually go into faster lurkers. So you can open up Ling Hydra, get a faster hive, get faster lurker tech. That is going to be a viable option here for Solar if Classic were to play it the same way. Otherwise, you can just all in. That's true. I mean, there's options. Aye, aye, aye. Since that soul's just too good. As I mentioned before, like I do think that there's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to how the meta has shifted. Again, the new map pool is relatively new, and players are still kind of like adjusting to it. And we have seen most Protoss players stop going for the build that Classic went for last game. Even Classic as well. It's just less viable. It's a shift in the meta pack. Speaking of earlier, Twilight Council earlier than last game. Okay. Twilight Council's been thrown down. Now, last game we had a relatively early Twilight Council with a late Forge, but still going into a Temple Archives. Here, if we don't see a Forge, this could be for Glaives. Show us what you got. So Oracle's out. Oh no! Oracle's a poke in. One Oracle, ooh, does go down. This is not worth it for Classic. Gets 4, 5 drones. Classic pulls away, but does lose an Oracle. Meanwhile, safe play here by Solar going for the Roach Warren. Getting into the lair. Delayed Forge, so early Blink, later Forge, earlier Warpins, and are we going for the Temple Archives? So far, we are not. Oh. So try to collapse in. He's going for the same builds. He's going for the same build. He's going for the Temple Archives. He's going into Storm. Classic is going for, once again, a more turtley, a more defensive style. More tech-heavy style. The Overlord sees everything. The Overlord confirms the Temple Archives. So Solar's fully aware. From here, Solar, as we mentioned before, he has 2 options. He can either go for an all-in, or he can be hyper greedy and try to rush into more bases and try to kind of rush Classic into greater tech. Oh, and he's going into, not Hydras, the Spire. He's going for Mutas. So Spire is on the way. I mean, again, Muta play is viable here. The reasoning for this is because the map is so large, right? The Old Republic, even though it has more exposed 4th bases and 5th bases, is a very large map, has a lot of room to traverse. So I do like the idea of going Mutas, whether it's on Old Republic, whether it's on Title, whether it's on Winter Madness. I mean, there's a lot of large maps. Things they collapse in. Ooh, they do pick off a Stalker. No shield battery, no battery. More probes will be going down. As target firing at a Solar. And he scouts all the gateways. He saw the Temple Archives. 4th base has been spotted. And again, it's going to be a tough hold here for Classic. So it'll be easy. So far as being distracted. We have our Mutas on the way. 11 Mutas. That's more than enough to one-shot. Solar tempted. Tempted to dive in. Picks off. Oh, doesn't quite get a stalker. Dragging the army back. With more Lings on the way. Classic is going for an earlier push. And how many High Templar? He's got 2. 2 High Templar. Second Stargate's on the way. And Mutas are revealed. It dies on the Templar. Oof. The Storm does get extra damage. Queens are pushing in. No transfuse. Yeah, we did miss a transfuse there, so 2 Mutas are going to be going down, getting a 3rd Muta. Barely 3. Nice shots from the Archon. Yeah, this is a tough hold here for Solar, bleeding out so many Mutas. Oh my god, bleeding out every Muta. Yeah, expensive defense. This is a worthwhile trade for Classic. Again, thankfully, he did not stay back at home. He pushed and he punished. If Classic was passive and was defensive, then, I mean, he'd be on the back foot. But he trades well. And behind this, making 2 Phoenixes at a time. So, double Phoenix production. He killed, what was it, 8? 13 Mutas went down, and this build has not been worth it. So far, it's just not been worth it for Solar. Solar still has the advantage. Solar still has map control, and you can see he's massing up a Ling Roach army, but this all-in that Solar's going for, this like big attack, is weakened because of all those dead Mutas. Elimination here in the main base, on the Stargate. Muta's going to be zoned away. Again, we're massing up more Lings, more Roaches. And we'll see if we can break Classic. Now, what's scary here is that Classic, because he's reacting so hard here to the Mutas, he's making a lot of Phoenixes, the ground army is lacking. We only have 2 High Templar. Like, the low High Templar count is crazy. He needs more Templar. Here comes the all-in. Remember, no upgrades. He's got +1 melee. +1 range just now began. Mutas, they do fight, so they do try to trade. And here he comes. Yeah, here he comes. It's the first storm. First 2, the only storms. Archon gets piled. And the Roach Ravager is just barreling in. Oof. Also connecting. Queens are a little bit late to the party. Yeah, the Queens are late. Wiles, 2 Grazer Stalkers, and we're just reinforcing with Lings. Yeah, more Ling reinforcements, more Roaches as well. And again, it was a rough start for Solar, but he just doubled down. He just doubled down on Ling and Roach production, losing all of his Queens. Solar, he's running out of steam. He doesn't break the expansion. Yeah, barely not. Again, despite the lack of storms here, Classic, he held on well enough. Throwing out more cannons, more shield batteries. Can he hold on? Ooh, and Solar, he's taking Hydra then. Still going for the Hydras, getting into Hydra upgrades. Solar, he's very committed here. He needs to do more damage. So that's a low Stalkers. Warping in 6 at a time. You can see he's being a little bit more meticulous with his Vials. Oof, very nice. Vials on the side defense. Trading with Classic. Getting ready for his Hydras. And you can see Solar, he wants to switch out of Roaches. He's trying to switch in Ling main Hydra into more efficient composition. Going for the counterattack. Templar building up. Ooh, Classic's out of position. We spoke about how spread apart these bases are. How isolated they are. Takes on all the cannons. The cannons, they do buy some time at least. Xiaomi's arriving. Nice piles here on the Oracle. And Classic, he's holding. Yeah, he actually responds. He holds on. He's going to lose 10 probes here in the mineral line. And remember, Solar, he's switching out of Roach Ravager into Hydra. Oh, another Wiles! Oof. Yeah, there we go. Hydras are revealed. Classic knows. Oh. Crazy blink? Jesus. He blinks into the army, and he's going to be punished for it. Classic, that was not it. Yeah, that was not the blink to go for. Does get punished. A better fight here for Solar. Is that herO? Is that you? Is that blinking into creep into the army with as Solar. He still has momentum. He's building up. It's classic. He does have 4 Templar with the army, soon to be 4 storms. Getting up to 6. Okay. So 4 on the right, 2 on the left. 6 Templar in total. Prism was spotted. Does distract, and now classic, he's going for the fleet beacon. Again, the goal here is to turtle up on 4 bases and turtle up into Sky Toss, but as I mentioned, it is much more difficult to do so here. As you can see, there's no side defense. There's no side defense. We're just now finishing up 1 shield battery. The area is more open. It's the first storm. Solo's looking for a way in. And we're going to have a tri-pronged attack. We do have a flank on the right, we have a flank on the left, and we have the main army in the center. Let's force to cancel. This will delay. Solar rotating back over. This does come down to the storms. Remember, this leaves 4. Ooh. It's the first 3. That was the final storm. Yeah, there's the 4th storm. We should have 2 more High Templar coming in. They make their way into the mineral line. There are the 2 final storms. And Solar, he gets in. Oof. 8 probes. 8 probes, but alas, not enough wings, not enough reinforcements. And Classic, he's barely hanging on. And Classic does hold. We have the first carrier in production. Let's go. Getting his first carrier. Classic has to be careful being lured onto creep without any storm. Remember, Classic, he has 0 Templar left. And it has been intense. Like Solar, he's been on lair tech this entire time. 14 minutes. Oh, he'll lose the expansion. Solar, he doesn't care. Oh, he will tank a storm. Solar, he wants to keep pushing. He's forced back home. Yeah, Solar, he has to turn back around. Nice pick up by Classic. And Classic is closing that gap in supply. Like Classic, he has had a really hard time getting past 150, but he's getting there now. And the carriers are amassing. And carriers, they're not really ideal scaling into a longer game against a more late game composition, but Solar doesn't have a late game composition. Doesn't have lurkers. There's no lurkers, there's no hive. Like Solar, he never had an intention for the game to last this long. And Classic, can he stabilize? He's almost there. Could all Roach Hydra. The plan was never to go Roach Hydra. The plan, the initial Roach all-in failed. So it's all about Ling Bane Hydra, which is a more efficient composition. But the game has lasted too long. If the game has lasted too long, Classic is now outscaling Solar. Again, Solar, it's going to be all or nothing here. He has to cripple the base, cripple the army, maybe reset the carrier count. Rotates to the left-hand side. Side defense buys some time. He wants those High Templars. A lot of storms. He lands 1, lands 2. Ling Bane cannot quite engage. Oh, gets 1 Templar. There's still 4 left. Jesus. Yeah, storms are connecting, and Classic, he's done it. Classic, he's done it. We did mention that Classic has just outscaled Solar. Solar, he's been on the lair tech all in for the past 16 minutes. It's crazy just how long this game has lasted. But again, this is also a learning process for Solar. Remember, Solar, he initially didn't go for a Ling Hydra all-in. He went for the Roach Ravager all-in first, which obviously has a little bit less potency. Failed to break the 4th base. And it's been rough ever since. Shout out to Classic for buying time. For buying time for pulling off that defense as well with his Stalkers. And GG gets called. Classic ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. Again, the all-in has failed here for Solar. Once again, winding it back, Solar, he committed originally into a Roach Ravager all-in, which did have a little bit less teeth, a little bit less potency. It does not scale too well into a longer mid-game. And very quickly, we saw Solar realize, oh, we made a mistake here. We have to switch out of Roach Ravager into Lingbane Hydra. But as soon as we saw that, as soon as we saw the Hydra Den, that was a really rough moment. I almost said like that was a game then and there, not really, but like that was a really rough moment for Solar to recognize that the tech that he had invested so much in was failing, and that he had to switch out of it into a different form of all-in, into Lingbane Hydra instead. So it was a really rough moment, a really rough decision. By the time he switched into it, it just took so long. It just took too long, to the point where we had a Classic taking up into carriers, of course, and by the time he got a handful of carriers, by the time he was able to build up his high template count, that was game. That was game then and there. Solo was outscaled, and again, a really impressive defense here by Classic, and as I mentioned before, more of a learning process for Solar. And let's go. We're getting into the ace match, getting into game 3. Gonna be loading into Winter Madness. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner here, Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Team Falcons, forced into a tied series. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss of Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Also, I apologize just because I did just wake up and I'm a little bit groggy, but I kind of glossed over my mind, so I do apologize. But again, one of the reasons why the Roach all-in was so weakened, it was so weakened for Solar, if you remember, was because it was not originally a Roach all-in, it was mutas. Remember, he went muta first and he made, what was it, 13 mutas, and then he went into Roaches. And we saw that Classic, he was more active early on, and he was applying more pressure, and he forced a defense out of the mutas. Mutas, they're not built to be defensive, they're not built to fight head-on. Solar was forced to, and he lost 13 mutas. He lost 13 mutas in that first push, and that just took so much of the wind out of the sails of Solar, and that's what weakened the Roach all-in that he had tried to go for. Just because the muta play was not worth it. It was just not worth it. So just a really awkward game state there for Solar. And now, welcome to Winter Madness. Welcome one and all. Winter Madness, I would say, is a more defensive map, more so than the previous maps we just had. You can see here the distance between the 4th and 3rd is shorter than that on Taito Citadel. On top of that, we have more choke points. These are more narrow choke points here at the 3rd and at the 4th base. So, and at the natural. So in general, I would say that this is probably the most defensive map in the map pool. This is the most defensive one, more so than Taito, more so than the Old Republic, more so than any of the other maps out there. I would say that this map is in contention with White Rabbits. I think they're both more defensive, but this is going to be more ideal for Classic. If Classic wanted to go for the same build and go for the same style of Blink into Storm, into turtling up into Skytoss, I do think this is probably the best map for that kind of play. Meanwhile, from Solar, I would have said that I would really like to see muta play here. Like, there's a very high chance that Classic is going to turtle, so this is where mutas can be really successful. But we just saw mutas in game 2, and I don't like the idea of going to mutas 2 games in a row. So we'll see. We shall see. For now, Stargate opener out of Classic. Be as annoying as possible, we'll delay the base. Wi-Fi shades in. Trying to shave off some wings. Nothing major yet. So far poking in. That is a big delay on the 3rd, by the way. The pylon does finish. Ay, ay, ay. Pylon finishes. The drone is trying to expand. The Depstate want the drone. He wants it. Oh my god. One more shot. He does pick off the worker. Oh god. A really rough start here for Solar. Losing the drone. Unable to expand. Heavily delayed 3rd base. And with that, Classic is looking comfortable, looking good. Classic expands. He comes to third base. Lings are now going for the pylon. This is where the Oracle can shut down the Lings. Ooh, Classic, a bit of a misread. He believes that the Lings are moving out across the map, but they are revealed. So pylon goes down. Solar, he expands towards Classic. Now, on the one hand, yes, this is a very late third base. True. On the other hand, now we can spread creep faster across the map towards the Protoss. So this will allow for better creep spread. Evo chamber out of Solar, going into +1, going to +1 melee. This does look like a more Ling Hydra heavy composition instead of Roaches. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Twilight Council from Classic. Once again, earlier Council, we're expecting gateways into a later Forge into a Templar Archives. So far, this looks like the same build 3 games in a row. So far, at least. Meanwhile, 3 drone kills, forcing a... Oh, God. 4 drone kills to, what was that, 2 cancellations. Ay. Classic having the best start here out of this entire series. Out of all 3 games, gets 7 drones. 7 drones go down. There's Blink, and we are waiting for that Temple Archives. Oh, we have a greater gateway explosion. Okay. Link just try to poke in. Oracle's race back home. Getting up to 6 gates, I believe. Yeah. So 6 gate setup. Now, last game, if you remember, we would go up to 4 gateways, then get the Temple Archives for Storm, right? It'd be earlier Storm. Here, no Storm. Here, delayed Temple Archives, more gateways, and because of the early lead, Classic, he could turn this into a 3-base all-in. He can go for an 8 gate. He's got 6 so far. So 6 gateways so far. We'll see if he throws down a 7th gateway. If he throws down a 7th gateway, that's going to be indicative here of him going for a proxy and him going for an all-in. And that would make sense considering the exposed expansion of Solar and considering the momentum that Classic currently has. Oh, goes in. Gets 2 more drones. Nowhere near as much. Losing one of the Oracles may deter Classic. Like, the Oracles are actually really crucial to support the Stalkers when you go for an 8 gate. Oh. He's only got 1 Oracle left. He's going for it. So, yeah, Classic is going he's going for the 3-base all-in. This build was very popular a couple of years ago, but this does make sense considering how much momentum Classic has. As we mentioned, Solar has taken a lot of losses. Solar, his tech is delayed, his economy is delayed, everything is late here. But speaking of late, the proxy is delayed. Classic, he needs that pylon, he needs that gateway, he needs reinforcements. As Classic pokes in, we can see Solar setting up for the surround. And Classic has to get the hell out of here. Blink is done. Does blink away. Whew, just in time. It blinks away. There's a proxy gateway. Again, 3-base all-in at a Classic. Solar, I don't think he's seen enough to really confirm this. And Solar's droning. Oh, okay. Did make away with workers. Very nice choke point here for Classic. Across the map. Gets us off the cannon. Words are being pulled. Classic, he will hold. Not without losing probes. Yeah, losing 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh god, this is getting out of hand. Yeah, no shield battery. No battery back at home. 8 probe kills. That should not have happened. Nice run by Solar. Does cripple the economy. This will slow down and weaken the all-in. This slows down the economy. This slows down the warp-ins. Classic, he has 8 gateways, but now he can't really make full use of them. Losing a Stalker. Remember, the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Solar. Like Solar, he's slowly building up Hydras. And Classic is on the timer. Meanwhile, Solar, he gets in. That should not have happened. Lings, they get into the main, and it's a natural. herO. Yeah, the herO is brutal. That's going to be 11 probe kills. Classic losing too much back at home. And now Solar's building up a critical mass of Hydras. It's building up to critical mass. Classic up to 25 Stalkers, but he has to end it. I just don't think he has enough anymore. The Oracle goes down. And no more Oracles. Hydras, they start to step forward. And they're picking up more Stalkers. At the same time, Soul, he gets in once again. The wall is just open. Classic, por favor. He just keeps getting in. Now, that wasn't the cleanest trade for Solar. He bled out a lot of Hydras himself. He's been trading. Classic, can he still do this? Can he still pull this off? There's, what, 6 Hydras left? Down to 5. Down to 4. 4 Hydras remaining. The boys are being pulled. Again, Solar, he was a little bit careless here. It's very close. It's still very, very close. We have 7 more Hydras on the way. There's some Zealot reinforcements. Oh, does blink in. He does focus fire. He gets 1, 2, 3 Hydras. 4. And he's done it. Yes, classic. He has done it with the Zealot reinforcements. He gets on top of the drones. The Zealots are going to be enough. GG gets called, and classic. He barely pulls it off. Pulls off the all-in and takes down Solar. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very messy end to the game and a very messy end to the series. Winding it back, I'm not opposed to the build that Classic went for. What I mean by that, I'm not opposed to the decision to go for a 3-base all-in after doing so much damage. I think it was really smart. I really like that decision. Unfortunately, as you saw, the defenses were lacking, and that made it closer than it needed to be. The fact that he only had a cannon back at home and no shield battery, the fact that we saw time and time again that Zealot was out of position and was not actually walling off the natural correctly, it meant that Lings, they got in, they got into the main base, the natural, they got into the third base as well, the economy was crippled. It meant that Solo was able to make it more chaotic than again it needed to be there, and it was close. It became very, very close. We saw towards the end that Solo, he committed to one big fight where it was basically just pure Hydra against Stalker, and Solo, he was losing a lot of Hydras there. When you go for Ling Hydra, you do need that buffer, you need that support. So for Solo to commit there, it felt like maybe overconfidence. It felt like maybe Solo was a little bit overconfident, did overextend, bled out too many Hydras. Once he realized what was going on, then he kited back, then he pulled the boys, but it was too late. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And thankfully for Classic, he barely had enough income to warp in Zealots, to warp in a handful of Zealots, then take it from there. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Classic, he will claim the series, and with that, he will advance on to the upper bracket semifinals. Meanwhile, we're here to find out who will join him, as up next we have another best of 3. It's going to be a PvT between herO and Cure. Let's go. Let's go. But again, a very chaotic final game. The GG, well played. And now we're getting into our fresh series, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss, the Blue Protoss. For T1, it is herO. We go. We have our PvT, and welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. I will say that TVP has been in flux as of late. We've been speaking about this quite a lot, how we've been seeing a lot more mid and late game in Terran versus Protoss. We've been seeing a lot more Terran player have success with mid to late game as well. We've seen that from Clem, from Maru, from Bjorn, from Cure as well. We've been seeing less all-ins, but this is also very map dependent. I will say that Ruby Rock has a very accessible third. As you can see here, there's no ramp. I mean, technically there's kind of a ramp, but for the most part you can engage into the third base on the same plane of elevation, and there's a very wide entrance into the third. There's a flanking path on the left. There's also an entrance here in between the bases and another entrance here on the top side as well. We have seen a lot of successful all-ins here on Ruby Rock, so this is where Cure has the option to be more aggressive here in this matchup on this map. Speaking of aggression, it's herO. herO, he's also a very dynamic player, of course. herO, he just won RSL. He's our most recent Revival StarCraft League champion off of his PvT. True. He had a crazy series against Maru. He had multiple series against Maru, and I do highly recommend it. That was some of the best PvT that we've seen all year, to be honest. It was amazing. It was beautiful. Do you recommend watching herO versus Maru in the upper bracket finals, and of course in the grand finals as well of RSL? It was crazy, man. It was crazy. But we'll see how Cure compares. Shall see. As this is going to be a Twilight Council opener by herO. Okay, I mean, makes sense. Going for Blink. Stargate play is a little bit more viable on larger maps, but on a map like Ruby Rock, it would be crazy risky to go for a Stargate. And again, Cure did open up Double Gas. Double Gas, faster factory, high ground CC, and delayed CC by Cure. And we'll see what kind of aggressive build we go for. Yeah. Here we go. From here, Cure does poke in. Pokes in, he confirms the tech, confirms Blink. And should not get away. Reynor hunted down, following up with a Widow Mine drop. Now, what I'm most curious by is going to be the add-on setup and the add-on swaps after the mine drop, as it's going to be a little bit more committed here, going for a triple Widow Mine drop. Meanwhile, Tech Lab is on the way in the factory. We'll see if we go for the Tech Lab on the starboard as well. Double Tech Labs. From here, we can go into Raven Harass or into Banshee play. Leaning towards Ravens. Widow Mine drop does move out. Tank production has begun. Yep, there's that harassing Raven. And Hallucination will confirm the add-ons. Hallucination confirms there's no crazy early stim, for example. Drop goes in, hero's in position, and Widow Mines are going to be focused down. He gets one. Does bring down one Widow Mine. Baits out the other shots, zones away the medevac, and that's going to be the death of all three Widow Mines. So nice defense here by herO. Doesn't kill the medevac, but does kill all the mines. That was a better trade for the Protoss. Meanwhile, herO establishing his own third base. I believe herO did cut corners. He went 2 Blink. Wow, 2 Blink into a third. This is a build that has fallen out of fashion. That is quite greedy here and has fallen out of favor. But no, herO cuts corners, hyper greed, faster third base, and he's getting away with it. Does get away with it. Again, 2 Blink was very meta at the start of the year, and then because of the rise of 2 base all-ins, we saw the death of 2 Blink. And the rise of 3 Blink with a Robo into a delayed third. Hero's being greedy, he's cutting corners. Especially on Ruby Rock, I feel like this is a risk. This is quite risky here. Oh, Blink's into the main, going for Stim. Wow, going for Stim, 2 more volleys, and it looks like he will force it, he will deny it. He denies Stim, forcing the add-on swap. There's Rico back home. That was well worth it for herO. So delays the upgrade, delays the timing. Curie's up to 3 tanks. hero's building up. And now let's go for that later Robo. Gateway Explosion, earlier +1, true. That's the one thing I should mention as well when it comes to the greedier start from herO, is that here he skipped his Robo in favor of a faster Forge and faster +1. You have my attention. And herO is looking solid. From here he is moving out. Once again, he can throw in a dive into the main. He may just there's 2 tanks. Yeah, there's 2 tanks, and he blinks in anyway. He's going for Stim. He gets it. Stim goes down. Killback shields as well. Curie's just stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He just can't even push. He's getting a 3rd CC, which means he has no pushing power either. Ay ay ay. We do have a drop, and there's a lot riding on this drop here. As I say that, we do see herO is moving out to intercept. Not like this. Yeah, medevac is seen, and he dives on the medevac. herO just all over Cure. Okay, calm down, herO, calm down. Oh my god. But that was brutal. Losing both tech labs and both add-ons, it means that Cure, he's stuck at home. Like, outside of drop play, he cannot push. It's not going to happen, not without stim or combat shields. And hopefully he restarts him soon. Uh-oh, that's the other big thing here. We have not been... Yeah, there we go. Upgrades are on the way. Heavy delay on stim. And here is just chilling. Here's he's getting a 4th expansion. Up 2 bases right to his opponents. We have a 2nd robo, 2nd forge, and a bay on the way. This is quite greedy, quite tech heavy, but herO can get away with it. And now you can contain. Now, when it comes to herO's move out, he has to be careful. herO, he is just by nature very tempted to overextend. This is the thing about herO, is that he's amazing when it comes to dealing damage, but sometimes he's overly aggressive. He does not have to do this. That's what I was getting at. He does not have to push into the bases. Prism into the main. Wouldn't mind drop here across the map. But again, herO is ahead. herO is getting further ahead by expanding. herO does not have to push into a 2-basing Terran. Like, this is not necessary. And this may give Cure the opportunity to take a better fight, potentially. So here we gotta calm down. I'm gonna calm down here. We do not have to push into this. Do not have to push in. He does find the medevac. So he was able to intercept. 3rd base is being taken, and this is okay for herO. Deny the 3rd. Delay the 3rd expansion for as long as possible. He blinks in. And will force a lift. Can he kill? Okay. Trading with the army. Gets a medevac. Does change targets. 1 more volley. Ooh, barely does not. If he had a knock off the medevac, if he had gone straight for the CC, I think he could have gotten the kill as he rallies in, overextends, throws away some zealots, and Cure holds. Cure is holding on. And here we gotta calm down. Just gotta calm down, Pat. And again, he's building up his Colossi. From here, herO can do one of 2 things. He can go for either Disruptors or Storm to diversify his splash damage. herO getting a 5th expansion. Since chat, herO doesn't know what chill is. He does not. He does not know how to calm down, and it kills him sometimes. As you can see, Cure, he's heavily turtling up here. He's got his line of tanks, Widow Mines, SimCity, turrets. All he's missing here is a sensor tower. But again, you do not need to push into this. Like, there's no need. Poking with Sorkers is fine. Gets a Widow Mine. Gets a Widow Mine, pulls away. herO should be the first to max out. And once herO maxes, now he can trade. Now he can trade out zealots for this army, and then he can afford the trade, and Cure cannot. And ideally just overwhelm. But here we go. 192, 198 supply, he's maxed. This is the time to trade. Baits out Mind Shot. Charge also diving in. Diving on the Ghost. Ghost gets picked up. And can he get on top of the tank? Got massive tank shots going off here. The Colossus do overextend, and here he does push far too far in. Yeah, too far in here, he will lose everything. Ay, ay, ay. Trading is fine, but don't just send it, Pappy. Oh my god. Yeah, here he pushed too far in into 3 siege tanks. Really nice target firing at a Cure. And here he will lose the entirety of the army. All that needs to be done here was go in, trade zealots. Once you run out of zealots, pull away. Just pull away and pull back and keep warping in more zealots and keep reinforcing. With herO losing every Colossus, I mean, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to rebuild. These are expensive losses for herO. And that was the worst fight for herO. That was a bad fight for the Protoss. And here you gotta calm down. It's like, here, you max, you can go in. He's like, okay, we just A move it, everything. It's like, happy, we can have more finesse than that. It's okay. Meanwhile, Mazella collapsing on most of the ghosts, getting some of the marauders as well. And we get some nice trades here, but once again, the Stalkers have to pull away. And Mortal's getting picked up, losing one, but the Zell save it wrong. Yeah, Mazella does it wrong. Better engagement here for herO. Going for the planetary, does get a kill. Kills the planetary. And GG. GG gets called. Whew, herO, he was able to end it with the second push with the second wave, and herO takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. And herO didn't make it easy on himself and did overextend in that first engagement, did make it more difficult, but he went for the second push, and you can see that, again, because of the later economy, because of the later third base and the later 4-base saturation, Cure had a harder time rebuilding, and herO got away with it. He got away with it. GG, well played. For the most part, herO, he was comfortable. His bases were left alone back at home. It was herO's own overextensions that were making things a little bit more difficult for him, but GG. GG, well played. With that, we're loading into game number 2. Here we go. As we are getting into game number 2 here, we're loading into Mothership, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, we'll see if he bounces back. It is Cure. And spawning into the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. As herO opens up with a proxy. Since that dodged the bullet with late game Terran, I would say to be careful the soul flats, just because I have noticed some balance winding, of course. When it comes to TVP, when it comes to late game PvT, it is very map reliant. It's important to bear this in mind. When it comes to a map like Mothership, I would actually favor Protoss in the late game. Why is that? Because Mothership is very open. It's very, very open. You have an insanely open linear third base. You have a more open triangular third as well, especially once these rocks get knocked down. Terran players are more favored in the late game when they can secure a 4-base setup. And on a map where it's easy to set up on 4 bases, think like Tokamak. Think of Tokamak, think of Celestial Enclave. If the Terran player can get up to 4 bases, they can get into the late game in a very strong manner. But on a map like this, where it's very open, this is where Protoss players have an easier time engaging, having better trades, and also taking over the map and being up on 5, 6, 7 bases compared to the confined Terran player. Here, herO is coming into a more aggressive build, but I would actually favor herO in the late game, specifically on Mothership. So don't get baited by Reddit memes. There's like more to it. For now we are going for a Rax expand. Standard economic opener here by Cure, and Cure, he is scouting, but hey, this is Mothership. It's a 3-player spawn map. Cure is checking the south side, and herO, he gets away unscouted here. Now with this herO, this should be to punish the economic opener. Cure, he's going for a faster CC on the low ground, and herO, the first zealot's already rocking up. He's now aware of the build, and the Stalker is coming, and his goal here is to snipe that SCV, snipe the SCV, delay the economy, and disrupt the build. Here's to disrupt. Thanks for the insight. Oh, thank you for the bits. Thank you. Do appreciate it. But again, like on maps where Terran players can easily get up on 4 bases, that means they can easily take up into Ghosts and Liberators, and they will have like a greater late game. 100%. Like they are more favored in late game in that kind of position. But there are maps where it is difficult for the Terran to turtle up on 4 bases. So there's like it's like a give and take there. Oh. As Cure does get its bunker. And here behind this is expanding. Now what's important is that thankfully with the bunker getting up, Cure, he does finish the CC. So this should have otherwise been a stronger start for herO to delay the expansion and to disrupt the build, but Cure, so far so good. He gets his base up and running, his bunker is done, and Cure, he is setting up onto expansions quite nicely. The initial proxy wasn't really too successful here for herO. Now with the Adept, he can deny mining. and we're going for a Twilight Council. Now, last game, herO, he went for a very greedy build. Remember, what did herO go for? He went 2 Gate Blink. He went 2 Gate Blink into a 3rd base, which is a build that is out of the meta right now. Like, it's out of the meta. The reason why is because of how prevalent Terran 2 base all-ins were for the majority of the year. So Protoss players, they just stopped going for a 2 Gate Blink. They just stopped going. Oh, he's crazy. Meanwhile, we have our initial 2 Gate Blink into a Dark Shrine. Okay, let's go. Oh no, oh, the Reaper gets in, and the Reaper Scout is, oh my god, is gonna be denied. Is barely gonna be denied. That is a little bit suspicious that herO did pull the boys, so I'm sure Cure is a little bit wary as to what just happened. He's like, hold on, why did you want me why did you not want me not to scout? What's going on? Now, when it comes to going to DTs, when it comes to going into Dark Templar, when it comes to going to DTs, this is very hit and miss in this matchup. If the Terran player mules, and if they have no skins available, and if they have no Ravens specifically, then DTs can actually do a lot of damage. They can excel. They can excel. Meanwhile, Starport is done. We have the Tech Lab. Are we going for the Raven? Yep, he is. So Raven opener here, Raven follow-up. It is not, I mean, there are builds, there are games where the Terran player does not go into Raven, does go into Banshee play, for example. Does go into more accumulated mine drops. It's not one of these games, though. So this is a really rough position for herO. He's being quite greedy, he's taking up into DTs, and there's a very high chance that Cure should shut it down. This is a big investment. The 3rd base was delayed because of the Dark Templar, true. So late 3rd base for herO. DTs have arrived. And the Raven's just chilling. He's just chilling back at home. You could argue that, again, Cure, he didn't scout the Dark Shrine, but because of the effort that herO put into denying the scouts, it looks like Cure is just being very safe. Just being very safe. He's here at his natural. herO going for a split push. DT in the natural, DT into the main. herO does unload. Going for the Cyclone. Does kill. Not bad. Nice control by herO. Gets into the middle line, gets 1 SCV. No target the natural. Okay. Oh, his hero has to be careful. Can he get the tank? Not quite. Yeah, forcing with a friendly fire, he gets 1 SCV, 4 in total. And I would say that I'm really impressed here by herO because despite things looking dire, he still got some damage. He got 4 SCVs and a Cyclone for 1 Dark Templar. That's actually a decent trade. It's not amazing. It's nothing game ending, but a decent trade nonetheless. A trade that a lesser player would have had a really hard time getting. Oh, he's gonna get caught though. Yeah, he stuck around too long. The prism goes down. Second DT as well. And suddenly, this is less impactful here. Suddenly, the value has been lessened and a better pickoff here for Cure. And again, my biggest concern is the 3rd base was delayed, right? Late 3rd base if herO. herO is trying to work towards Colossus. I would say that Cure has momentum. Hello, 007. Esther 007. As Curie breaks out, he does find the proxy. He should shut it down, and herO's going to be in a really rough position here. He does have 1 Colossus defensively. He's got a 2nd on the way. Getting a 2nd Colossus. As I'll say, do go for the backstab, but this main army, can it be stopped? These are going to be 0-0 Zealots, no extend double lance. Army sims in. There's 2nd Colossi, true. Auto turret is thrown down. 2nd auto turret as well. Nice damage here on the Immortal. Sims on 4, tanks are getting within range, and here he's up against the wall. He's trying to hold on. He's trying, but shield battery goes down. And the Colossus do survive the Ukai away, but oh no! The Vikings! Ooh, one more volley! Colossus goes down. And Kira's done it. Kira at this point, he's done it. He's broken the back of herO. He gets on top of the Robo. Robo goes down. And Kira's just rallying. He's just rallying. At this point, there's no more reinforcing Colossus. And herO, he should not be able to defend. And a lot of this came down to the opener. Remember, we had the proxy gateway. Didn't do any damage. We had the DTs. Wasn't worth it. And it all delayed the tech. So late third base, late tech, late production, late everything in favor of the earlier aggression that did not pan out. So it was a big gamba here, a big gamble from herO. Didn't pay off in the end. Here he pulls our boys, does what he can. Final Colossus is going to be hunted down, and now there's 0 Colossus left. GG gets called, and Cure ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, an intense game here, and here he put it all on the line. He put it all on the line, going for a very aggressive style when it came to the proxy, when it came to the Dark Shrine as well, but it was not worth it in the end. Didn't quite pan out, and Cure was able to snowball from there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3, and we're going to be loading into Tourmaline to find out how this story ends. Tourmaline is a much smaller map, much more aggressive map as well. There's a lot to get into. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And welcome one and all to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a very open map. This is the entrance into the natural, by the way. It's huge. it's basically an entire screen's worth. Likewise here, a massive entrance into the third base as well. We have some wide open entrances. We also have a very direct path into the natural in third base. There's no ramp, there's no side blockers. We have some side blockers here, kind of, but even then, there's no points of elevation, there's no choke points, so stopping a push can be very difficult as you just have a direct path from natural all the way to natural. Just a direct path. Because of that, we see a lot of all-ins. We've seen a lot of very successful 2-base all-ins and 3-base all-ins. Like hyper-aggression is favored here on Tourmaline. It is difficult to defend, it is difficult to turtle, and we'll see what our players go for. We'll see who's going to be the aggressor first. Already, double gas. Double gas opener out of Cure, going for a faster factory, delayed CC, and we should be seeing herO be very safe or aggressive himself. We should not see a 2-gate blink. Like, if we see 2-gate blink here, like, no shot herO defense. no shot he holds. So we're expecting 3-gate blink Stalker into a Robo, or even 4-gate blink Stalker. So we're expecting a heavier commitment into gateways. Early on, we're expecting a later third expansion out of herO. From the side of Cure, we'll keep an eye on the starport timing. We'll keep an eye on the build itself. We have seen a rise in popularity of like 2-on-1s, 2-base all-ins where you go for Viking reinforcements and tank production as well. Here we go. Cure for Protoss. Can I find these replays somewhere? I believe these are replays that we should be providing our subscribers. For those who don't know, whether you're a Patreon, whether you're a subscriber on Twitch, we do provide replay packs. If you want to cast yourselves or watch yourselves, learn yourselves, do provide a lot of replays. We provide replays from our tournaments, from KungFu Cup, from other events we have permission to share, of course, like the Brazilian tournaments or KungFu Cup. SEL, StarCraft Evolution. Do share the replays. Lily Cup, true. Lily Cup's another one. We do share. Oh. As the Reaper does get away, does pull out, and so far we're getting to our openers. When it comes to the more aggressive start here, Cure is going for his own 1-1-1. A bit of a supply block is going to slow him down a little bit here. but he's going for a very early tank. So singular cyclone into early tank production, into an early draw. So again, hyper early aggression here by Cure. Meanwhile, herO, he is going for 3-gate blink. Again, we expected this to be the case. So 3-gate blink out of herO, going for a Robo on 2 bases. A very safe build from our Protoss. So safe build out of herO, aggressive start out of Cure, but this still comes down to the micro, still comes down to the control. And how we engage with each other. herO, he spots a Cyclone, spots a Marines, he knows. Does get the volley of auto. Cure, he was late to react, and he will lose the Cyclone. Yeah, a bit of a delayed reaction there by Cure. Rough loss already. And remember, Cure is going for the push. Yeah, he's going for Viking production here. This is hyper committed, hyper aggressive. Tank does siege, and herO does pull away. Okay, he doesn't want to get caught up by the tank. But again, this army is meant to be across the map. This army should be across the map already. Cure is building up. Making more tanks, more Vikings. Landed Vikings actually add a lot of DPS to this. A lot of DPS. And here is containing Cure. More reinforcements on the way. Here getting a proxy set up here on the right hand side. And here it does expand. So 3-gate blink into a Robo into an expansion. Here he's not overreacting. And so far so good. Now what's terrifying is that this setup can still turn into a 2-base all-in. Like this can still build up into a greater timing. What's really important is that the early timing from Cure failed. That is true, but he retained the army. He lost the Cyclone, but he saved the tanks, and he saved the medevac, and he saved the Viking. Meanwhile, we just see herO going for the tank in the main. Won't quite get it. At the same time, a land of Viking harassed across the map. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4 probes. Not bad. Nice trade out of Cure. hero's playing with fire. Prism does pull away. Barely has enough room. And Cure should be stuck on home until Stim finishes. Alright, we're still waiting for Stim. Stim is on the way. More Stalkers are moving out. Containing Cure. Cure's got 1 eBay, indicative here of a 2-base push. And here, oh god. Well, good movement, but it does pick up 2 SCVs. Jesus, we have 10, sorry, 10? We have 4 tanks already. Cure's pushing. Stalker's back into the main base. Nice control. Here not losing anything so far. Getting 3 more SCVs. And this is it. This is it for Cure. Cure, he may just pull the boys behind this. He's rallying everything across the map. And it's on here to slow this down. Gets a couple Marines. Couple of Marine kills. Oh! Oh! Can you see the dance? You can see Cure kind of trying to catch out herO. herO trying to catch out Cure. It's very tense. Cure sieges, herO pulls away. Oh god, he gets baited into the blink. And with that, Cure comes out on top. A better trade for Cure, and Cure, he is going for a 3rd CC. He is expanding. Again, unfortunate blink there for herO. It was very tense. The dance, the back and forth. And Cure's just chilling. And once again, what's important is that, yes, this is a bit of a later 3rd base for Cure, but he retained the army. Like, he still has his 4 tanks. Still has a very solid army. You can see here already for his army on the right. So drop into the natural, drop into the mineral line. Blinks further in. Gets an SCV. Has to recall, and he should be able to. Zealous, they do try to dive on top of the tanks, but there is support here. Yeah, not worth it. Observer goes down. I believe only 1 tank fell, so we go from 4 down to 3. 3 tanks left. And hero's going to be careful here. He's going to be careful not to throw away too much. Meanwhile, a big shout to Einstein in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing and for gifting a sub to Chance, to the Korean Protoss. Thank you so much, Einstein. Thank you so much for gifting the sub. Oh, as Cure moves out, but not far enough. So Cure, he can react, he can respond. And Cure has momentum. Remember, Cure has been building up this army the entire game. And here has been delaying the push, but he hasn't been dealing with the army itself. Like, this is a beefy army. Hero does spot it. And can Hero stop it? He's been bleeding out a lot of gateway units. That's the issue here. Here he doesn't really have much buffer for his army. He has a Colossus, he has 2 tanks. Sorry, 2 Immortals, I meant to say. 3 Immortals even. It's engaging. He dives on the bio, trying to get on top of the tanks. Vikings, they bully the Colossus. And Curie snowballing out of control. He's pushing in. And he is moving in. We have some DTs? Oh, good. We have some Dark Templar in the mix. Hero going for the 4th. Hero coming in from behind. And the tanks are exposed. Okay, Hero, he should clean up every single tank here. Yeah, 2, 3 tanks going down. At the same time, Zealots, they pop off across the map. DTs pop off across the map. And Cure, a bit of a fumbled assault here. 12 dead SCVs. He threw away all of his tanks. He left them exposed. He did not kill the Nexus. Yeah, Cure, he was inattentive. And Hero, he defends. Yeah, Hero defends. This should not have happened. This should... it looked like Hero. Sorry, it looked like Hero was distracted by the Dark Templar. So he was distracted. He abandoned his tanks. Tanks went down for free. And I thought for certain this base was gonna die. Like I thought the 4th was gonna go down, but Hero holds, and suddenly Cure, he loses so much momentum. Yeah, Dark Templar chases him back. There's no scan. Okay, now we have one. There we go. Scan is available. But again, a fumbled assault there from Cure. Hero, he somehow survives, saves the 4th base. And our Cure has no pushing power. And what's important about what just happened here is, 1, the tank count was reset. So without tanks, there's no backbone to the army. On top of that, Cure, he lost, what was it, 11 SCVs? So he lost a bunch of workers. He's still on a 2-base economy. Despite having a 3rd base, his SCV count is lacking. And speaking of no SCVs, Cure, he's not making SCVs. Oh, he's all in. he's making 0 workers here, despite losing 10 or 11. So 0 workers, Curie's all in. He's all in, it's all or nothing. Either he ends the game or he dies trying. Curie, he has recognized that he's too far behind to try to macro. And he can still pull this off. He's got Vikings, he's got EMPs. Here, he has to be careful. As Curie's moving in. Pushing forward. Mind shot does land. And Cure, now he starts SCVs. This is late. This is a late realization. Cure, he just saw the army and he just to himself said, I can't kill you. I can't kill you. He starts making workers. He throws down a 2nd eBay. He starts an armory for +2. So Cure is lacking confidence. And for good reason. But this is just really rough position here for Cure. Again, he can't even start +2 because he had no armory. And he's hoping that the hero maybe overextends. As here, he has no War Prism, true. Gets a Colossus. 1 Colossus goes down. A nice pick off here from Cure. 2nd Colossus is going to be going down. No more splash damage. Yeah, no more splash damage here. And the Zealots are running out. Ooh, Nova does land. Look at the flanking Nova. But here, he needs more Zealots, he needs more reinforcements, the Warpins are delayed. Zealots, they barely arrive in time. But here he needs more Zealots. He needs more Pappy. As here's gonna lose everything. Gonna lose all the Immortals. 1, 2, 3 Immortals go down. Here he plummets in supply. And remember, he did not have to fight, by the way. Did not have to push in. Here, he was getting further ahead. He was getting a 5th expansion. And now Cure's in this. Now Cure is still very committed. Remember, Cure, he wasn't really getting ready for a longer game. Oh! Nice splits. Very nice splits. And Novas that don't connect. Getting 1, getting 2 disruptors. Expensive losses here for Hero. Very expensive losses. Here he's pulling back. He has no Colossus because of the disruptors. There's no Colossus already. Nice EMP. Here he does split. Splits at the last moment. Here getting desperate. Needs to buy time. The first Colossus has arrived. Colossus comes in. Mindshot's getting dragged into the medevacs. They get dragged in and herO holds. Whew, again, a very, very, very close hold here. Very clutch. But the Colossus has arrived. Oh. Here he has his 5th base. And this is still very tense. Still very, very tense here. KungFu's still in a really rough position just because he didn't really have the setup for the mid game and for the late game either. So KungFu, he's still recovering, but he did take a better fight. So now he's got 2-2 finishing up. herO did not start +3. He's had 2-2 for a while, but he did not start +3, so he will lose that upgrade advantage. Now, once again, I would say that herO does not have to push in. He can contain. So I'll say slip into the bases. Here he gets a medevac. That's 2. Picks off 2 medevacs. Zell take it into the mid line. Nice run by herO. Gets 6 SCVs. And again, herO, he's playing with fire right now. He has to be so careful. If herO reacts too late, he will lose Stalkers. Well, that guy's not too fond of the lack of support for the Colossus either. But here it comes. Zealots are warping in. herO getting another expansion. Again, the goal here for herO is to contain, right? To contain the Terran. He's got Sporter Pylons. Remember, here he does not have to push in. We don't need to. Here he spots the 4th. herO responds. Oh. He rotates over. Here he's about to max out. He's almost there. And this is where herO can fight. Like, now is the time for herO to push in. I say that, now we have some liberations. Liberation zones are set. herO trying to find a way in. There was a nice EMP on the Colossus. Colossus out of shields. Vikings, he wants a Colossus. Oh. Okay, he doesn't get it. But again, KungFu can 2-shot. Colossus barely survives. KungFu's ready for the run by. Nice positioning. Now, what's scary here is that herO, he's maxed, and he's not doing anything with the army. Like, this is where I would say that herO should commit, but remember, he has to be careful. He can always pull away. Like, he doesn't have to overextend. Nice Nova. Very nice. Nova goes off. 10 Marines go down. I wouldn't be opposed to herO even posturing, then rotating, which is what he's doing, and hitting the 3rd. Hit the 3rd base instead. You can see how open this area is, how exposed it is. KungFu's out of position. He scans, he sees. Yeah, he sees rotation. So crucial here that he does keep up. KungFu responds. But the Liberators are late to reposition. Here comes the Nova. Yeah, Nova goes up. Ooh. Racing the army. But here it does pull away. And again, over time, KungFu's army is getting better and better. We've got 3-3 that's almost done, by the way. 3-3 is finishing up. KungFu, he's perfecting his army, getting into Ghost, Liberator, Viking. We did actually mention this in the previous game on Mothership. Remember how a Terran player, if they can get up to 4 bases, this is the win condition. If they can get up to 4 bases, they can max out on like their perfect army, on Ghost, Viking, Lib. And hero's being outscaled. He's being outscaled. It was on herO to try to break one of these bases earlier. as he's trying to wedge himself in. And awkward engage here for herO. herO collapses in. Nice EMP. Stalker's going to be going down. This is the moment. I feel like this might even be late, but this would be the moment where herO would need to take up. Get a third robo. Mass DT coming in. Can he get the planetary? He can. Okay. Planetary goes down. Snipes the planetary. But this is where we need more disruptors or more storm. We're too heavily reliant on the Colossus. Colossus, they could just get picked off by the Vikings. And here he plummets in supply. You can see him here, down 60 supply. Nice splits. Decent Nova though. Decent Nova here on the Marauders. And KungFu's rallying. KungFu, he's rallying across. KungFu has a lot of momentum his way. Has a terrifying army. And again, here he had to break that fourth base. He couldn't just let KungFu get it. Oh, there he goes off. There he goes off. Once again, a good connection. But here he doesn't have the numbers. He just doesn't have the numbers here. Zealots are going down. Stalkers are going down. Here he does have a bank, but he just doesn't have the gateways, I guess, to warp in. He's only got 11. Yeah, not enough gates. Not enough gateways. Army steams forward, and the bases are being broken. herO cannot stop this. He cannot keep up. herO will lose everything. Depowers the shield battery, takes down the Colossus, and again, here's just been outscaled. He's been outscaled. Once KungFu got the fourth base up, I was like, well, not just that, it was the fact that he got the fourth base up, and we spoke about it at the time. herO was maxed, but he wasn't doing anything with the army, right? He wasn't doing anything with the supply. He had to trade. 44 probe kills. 44 probes. Again, a very intense back and forth here in the final game. If you remember earlier, KungFu was in a rough position where he had failed his all-in, but then herO overextended into KungFu, where herO lost his Colossus. So very back and forth. Like now herO's building on more disruptors, but it does feel a little bit too late for this. Is this the main? Yes. So the main base is floating over. As a fifth, nice DT harass, okay. herO poking in, getting 6 SCVs. This is something. But for the most part, KungFu is able to maintain its economy. I personally donate minerals to KungFu to get a fusion core for those medevacs. That's it by my mind, actually. KungFu, he would benefit from a fusion core, not even just for the medevacs, but just for even liberator range, to incorporate more liberators. But KungFu, his economy is also still, like, it's very tight. It's a very tight economy. It gets a free disruptor. And liberation zones have been set up. More mining is denied. herO is just out of position. He will lose another expansion. Now, if these Novas can connect... Oh, no, herO, come down! The Novas, they do connect. Okay. herO, he does take a fight. And here he'll clean up this army. The Vikings, they're popping off, though. They get one. They're going to get both Colossus. And the Vikings back. And again, KungFu was fighting with only half his army. Only half his army was actually engaging. Here comes the other half. Oh, we're walking in. Oh, KungFu! Jesus! herO also getting a little bit nervous. Was premature with the Novas. Calm down, Bobby. Calm down. Why isn't KungFu finishing herO off? What do you mean? What are you talking about? As I just as I was talking about, KungFu, his economy is very low. He's on 2 bases, so he's still trying to maintain himself. So he never goes off. Ooh, massive connections. Like, he was trying. What do you what do you think that attack was? They killed the base. True. Why isn't he attacking harder? Kappa. You should press the A button a little bit stronger, you know? Clowns in the chat. Meanwhile, nice distraction. 15, 16 SCV is going to be going down. Nice damage here by herO. Gets 23 SCV killed. Oh no, but he stands and fights. Oh, he cannot afford this. He will lose every single stalker. Ay, ay, ay. herO, he did have some nice harass, but it looks like he was focusing here on the drop. Threw away all the stalkers. We're getting very messy. Very messy. Oof. Yeah, as Curie should take down top left. This is one of the most crucial mining bases here for herO. Remember, herO, he has no mining bottom right. He has no mining here. He does recall the probes, does save them. But so he has a one base economy. There's no base here in center right. He has one probe here at his third. No economy here at the natural. No economy in the main base. herO, he's on a one base economy here. One expansion, that's all he has left. Meanwhile, Curie's on one base as well, technically. Like, the SCV count is very low, but he's retained most of his army. Retain the army. From here, moving out. You can hear it being as annoying as possible. Denies mining. But Cure, it looks like he's making a beeline here to the most crucial mining base for herO. He's making his way over. This is the one thing keeping herO in this game, is his expansion. And Cure is going for it. It does snipe the base. At the same time, Zelarama here towards the top side. But Cure still has a center expansion, right? He still has that center base. Here is being so annoying. Gets in. Okay. Killing more SCVs. Blinks away. And here he is being annoying. He's killing SCVs, but this main army is still terrifying. And Cure, he's still looking for more bases. Okay, this is the one base left. We got 27 probes on 2 patches. Let's go. This is hero's economy. Meanwhile, Novas are connecting. Cure likewise is down to 13 SCVs, but he has mules, right? He has orbitals, he has mules. So the worker count means a little bit less for Cure. Does mean less. And Curie's scanning. He's like, do you have any mining? Do you have an economy? What's going on? Oh, the pre-splits. Oh my god! Oh, the flanking Nova! herO! You can see herO is microing his heart out with a handful of units. GG gets called. And Cure will take the series 2-1. He will advance on into the next round, knocking down herO to the lower brackets. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As Cure, he does take it, winding it back. Remember, this was a very back and forth and very chaotic game. Initially, we had a Cure going for an early 2-base push with the early 4-tank setup, but he pulled away. He retained his army, got up to 3 bases, and went for a 3-base all-in instead. We saw that herO, though, was successful when it comes to harassing, when it comes to delaying zealots into bases, stalkers into mineral lines as well. So we saw that herO was able to stifle Cure at least somewhat, but honestly, that 3-base all-in should have ended the game. It should have ended the game. I'm referring to the moment when Cure pushed towards the 4th base of herO, wedged himself in between the 3rd and 4th, got his 4 tanks up and running, and was focusing down that expansion. But at the time, herO went for a backstab. He went for a DT counterattack. He distracted Cure, and we had that miracle defense from herO where he killed all 4 tanks. If you remember, he killed all 4 tanks and he saved the 4th base. I was like, he should be dead. Like that should not have happened. So Cure was distracted. herO somehow survived, and then we had a bit of a back and forth. Then it was herO's turn to overextend, where herO, he built up, he had map control. And then you have extended pushing into the third base of Cure. That was the moment where Cure landed all of his AMPs, he had all the Vikings, and when herO, he lost his entire army. He lost 3 Colossus, he lost everything, and then we just had a chaotic back and forth. In the end, herO was able to gain map control and mass expand, but he was stuck on a very low tier army, and as you saw, he was unable to punish the 4th base. Like, everything changed when the 4th base got up and running for Cure. When he got his 4th base up, he was able to perfect his army, and herO was just outscaled. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, very intense back and forth here. Cure does barely come out on top. Was not an easy one. Even towards the end there, herO, he was doing the most he could to just be as annoying as possible. But GG, well played. With that, we are going to be getting into our next series. It's going to be a best of 3 between Reynor and herO. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. And we'll see you guys soon after the break with Reynor and herO. See you soon with that ZVT. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the KungFu Cup. Welcome back to the 2025 KungFu Cup Monthly number 3, day 1. This is the November monthly, and we are halfway through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with our first 2 series, and we can catch up on the bracket itself to see where we are and where we are headed. Now, remember, this is a 5-day event. 5 days of StarCraft, a lot of matches, a lot of series ahead of us here. As you can see, we do have our initial quarterfinals. We do have Classic and Solo. Classic took down Solo 2-1 to face off against Cure in the next round, as Cure just took down herO. So we have Cure and Classic in the upper bracket semis. Meanwhile, Solo and herO get knocked down to the lower bracket. And that should be our next series after the current best of 3. We do have up next Reynor and KungFu. Reynor versus KungFu, they're going to be facing off in the best of 3. We also have Showtime and Mana. We're going to be covering them tomorrow. So Showtime versus Mana are going to be facing off tomorrow. Meanwhile, we have Reynor versus KungFu, and we should have the lower bracket match of Solar and herO. Now, also bearing in mind, those lower bracket matches are going to be best of 5s. Not best of 3s, but best of 5s instead. So longer and greater series, but otherwise we have our series. We have our best of 3. It's going to be a ZVT between Reynor and KungFu, and I'm curious to see how KungFu is looking as of late. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past couple of months, you would know that post EWC, KungFu has been very inactive. KungFu has been very, very inactive. He rarely competes. He rarely plays. He's a rare sight. As a result, he has been less in form. I will say that he's been less in form, but he's always a treat to watch, and we'll see how he compares to someone who's more actively playing, or at least lost in the rift. No. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. It is KungFu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Italian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. Again, we got a lot of love for KungFu. He's a very entertaining, very fun player to watch. Does love to incorporate mech whenever he can, and he often does come up with his own builds, goes for his own quirky timings and quirky styles. But again, as we mentioned, post EWC, he's been very inactive. He's been competing less, playing in less. So I do appreciate whenever we see him in a tournament like this, we have to experience at least some KungFu. Let's go. Let us go. So now Reynor's going to be opening up, going for his own hatch gas pool. Standard opener here out of Reynor, and we'll see how KungFu will approach this. Now, when it comes to the current meta here, of course, I will say that mech is now weaker than it once was, of course, with the change of the Cyclone. So KungFu going to mech is going to be less viable. Now, we have seen some players have success with more traditional forms of mech, going into Hellion tank instead of battle mech. There has been success with that depending on the map. Welcome to Tourmaline. We spoke about this in the last series, where Tourmaline is a very open map. It's very difficult to be defensive on, so we don't really expect to see a more defensive style. We expect to see something more aggressive out of our players, specifically out of KungFu. We do expect that. From the side of Reynor, Muta play is more viable in ZBT nowadays, thanks to the buff to the mainling and to the buff to the Muta. So Ling Bang Muta is now something that we do see more often in ZBT. That is going to be on the table. We'll keep an eye on Reynor. So now we're getting to our openers. Reynor's setting up for his third base. Reaper does move out across the map. And so far, no one's been cutting any corners. Nothing's been crazy here. There's no early gases or early pool. Nothing really delayed. The one thing of note is that KungFu didn't go for the SCV Scout. True. She did not SCV Scout. So just now getting a read on Reynor.
Additional supply depots required.
Let's give me a picks in. He does poke in. Does poke away. See in the chat, is this live? It should be a part of the stream title, but there's also a command in the chat. But this event is being casted by Replays. It is a couple of weeks old, if not last week. But this is the monthly November finals for KungFu Cup. There should be one for December as well, next month. Unfortunately, at the time, we weren't able to cast this live as we were casting other events at the time. So I couldn't cover it live. That's too much StarCraft, baby. I remember, I think during the weekend, it was the weekend of was it the weekend of Stellarfest? Where there were like 4 events happening at once? There was like Stellar Fest, there was KungFu Cup, I think Wardy was hosting his own tournament, and then there was Epic Land as well. There was a weekend with like 4 events all happening at the same time. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. No, too much StarCraft. Too much StarCraft. For now though, KungFu does reinforce. Looking for a way in. Does try to rush past. Lings, they try to keep up. So if I look down one of the Hellions, 2 of them do make it through. I say 2, really 1. Yeah, 1 Hellion makes it in, and so far this is not worth it. The dive here is going to be completely shut down, and not a single drone falls. This is not worth it here for KungFu. He will lose map control, and Reynor can now freely expand, freely drone. So a very comfortable start for Reynor. He can drone up, he can saturate. KungFu behind this going for a 1-1-1. A hyper aggression out of KungFu going for a delayed 3rd TC. We've seen these builds punish overly greedy Zerg players, especially if they go gasless. But Reynor, he went for a standard opener himself, and KungFu is going for the expansion, but a late 3rd base. So delayed 3rd TC by KungFu, a much faster starport, much faster Banshee, much greater commitment into Hellion Banshee. Oh boy. As he lost 4, and he's still got 5 more Hellions behind this, making another pair of Hellions as well. I'm curious to see if we go into an armory with this, into a Hellbat push. But it feels like it's a little bit too late for that, just because we already lost 4 Hellions. Banshee picks in, 2 drones, Hellions, they dive into the mineral line. Reynor, he is keeping up. Reynor once again just punishing KungFu, diving on the Hellions, getting 1, 2, 3 Hellion kills. And he's not done. Yeah, he's not done. He's going to keep pushing at the same time. Banshee across the map, does try to get more damage. Looking for more drones. So Reynor overextends. Banshee back into the main. Back into the main base behind this. I was curious if it was going to be mech. Yes. Now we see why there have been so many Hellions. Now we know why the 3rd base was so delayed. We are meching it up. Now we did touch on this previously about how battle mech is weaker in this patch. We have seen success with more traditional mech, but before talking about what kind of mech we get into, KungFu has had a lot of losses. He's lost 6 Hellions so far. Hasn't really gotten much drone kills. The Banshee play has been lackluster. It's been a rough start for KungFu. Now all it takes is for KungFu to get into a mineral line with these Hellions, and he can equalize if not even take a lead. So KungFu has been hyper aggressive, still looking for another opening. Looking for another dive. Heads for the 3rd, but the Queens are here. Yeah, the Queens are in position, the Lings, they do keep up. They come with the surround! Oh! Yeah, they surround the army, they look down the Hellions, and another big loss for KungFu. He's been throwing away too much. Too many losses back. Behind this, we have a Thor on the way. Okay. And he spots the Roach Warren. So, a bit of an odd choice here is Reynor. He's going into Roaches. The Thor should be the hard counter muta play, but as we can see at least, there are no mutas. Things they poke in. Again, KungFu trying to keep up. And KungFu, instead of going into battle mech, he's going to Hellion tank. Hellion tank Thor. As we mentioned before, like, it's less viable to go into Cyclones. But with all these losses, KungFu, his 3rd base is going to be that much more exposed. So he bleeds out another Hellion. You may be thinking like, oh, but he's mainly throwing away Hellions. That's fine, right? It's like, that's the buffer. Like, that's meant to be the meat shield to protect the tanks. Are those Hellions? So without that Hellion support, the tank's going to be that much more exposed, and Reynor's push is going to be that much stronger. Oh, as we're taking in every which way, we have advanced servos, we have magfield accelerators. Reynor to get the pits, he's going into Swarm Host. True, Swarm Host play is more viable now. Bearing in mind that previously Swarm Hosts were difficult to make work because of the mobility of Battle Mech, but now that Battle Mech isn't really a thing, that means the Swarm Hosts are back on the table against Mech. just because the army is that much slower. The Terran player has that much less map control. And here come the Swarm hosts. They're waddling out. They waddle out across the map. We have 13, 15. 15 Swarm hosts. And we'll see what Reynor can get done with the first wave. We'll see if he goes for the economy or if he goes for the army. As there are some Hellbats in the back line. Queens are moving in. Reynor, he's droning up to 80. He's committing. As making nothing but roaches. Doors in position. Logos wave is diving on the tanks. And does get 2. Yeah, 2 tanks go down. Roaches try to push in, but the tank line is stalled. But the Hellbats do defend. And Gumio holds. Gumio does hold on. This was a bit of a lackluster first Locust wave. He only got 2 tanks. Files are, oh my god, grazing the army. Last 2 graze. Queens are trying to hold their own. And we're waiting for the next Locust wave because something that we've been losing here are the Hellbats. Yeah, so many Hellbats going down. Oh, the Vials! Vials on the way. Banshee falls as well. As Vikings did snipe the Overseers. No detection. He's going to zone away Reynor. The Banshees are popping off. They're getting a lot done. Wait, where's the Overseer? Okay, they're on the way. No speed. No Overlord speed, so late Overseers here. Overlord speed just now on the way. Gumio, he's holding. Okay. He's holding on. Honestly, if it wasn't for those Banshees, then the Locust wave should have killed the remaining tanks. The Banshees do allow Gumio to survive. Yeah, Locust wave once again diving on the tanks. Getting 1, getting up to 2. Oof, Plaza connecting. Locust wave is running out, getting a 3rd, 4th tank. So 4 tanks going down. Once again, just keeping the supply low for the Terran. And this forward base is so exposed. I'll be very impressed if Gumio can maintain this position. Gumio is double expanding. Locust wave is ready. It's go time. Reynor, are we going for the planetary or are we going for the tanks again? He's going for the planetary. It dives in. Planetary goes down instantly. Oh no, the tanks are done. They're stacked. Oh, they are stacked up. 3, 4 tanks going down. Yeah, Gumio is stacked up, and Reynor, he's going for the kill. There's what, 2 siege tanks left, down to 1. 1 tank down to 0. And nothing is sieged. Okay, Gumio's 4th base is broken. Did re-expand towards the top side, but now Reynor can just rotate or just can keep pushing in. Remember, we spoke about this, but the area here in between all the bases is accessible to Reynor. Just break the 4th. And from here, he can push in towards the natural, the 3rd, or the 4th expansion. Reynor going for the 3rd. There's nothing here. Gumio's out of position. I mean, he just has no supply to work with. As Reynor moves in, piles down another tank. Locust take it into the mineral line. Oof. They will kill everything. 13 SCVs go down. And again, there's just nothing left. There's just nothing here. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played, Reynor. He does overwhelm. Again, just a really shaky start for Gumio, winding it back. As a reminder to what the build was, Gumio went for a 1-1-1. He went for a 1-1-1 late 3rd base, had a Gumio hyper-aggressive build, but he didn't achieve anything with the aggression. He was heavily reliant on Hellions. He went for a wave after wave of Hellions. I want to say he killed 3 drones with his Banshee harass, and he didn't kill any workers with his Hellions, and he was throwing so much away. And we spoke about it, because he was losing so many Hellions, it meant that his tanks were that much more exposed. It meant that he had that much of a weaker position at his own 3rd. And we saw that Reynor, he was free to drone up to 80, get into Swarm Host, and just break that 3rd base. Break the 3rd, trade well. Gumio did survive thanks to his Banshees. True, he was able to survive, able to elongate that game, but only for a little bit longer. Only for a little bit longer, and with that, Reynor takes the lead in the series. Now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we do have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing himself, currently teamless. It is a Gumiho. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, the Italian Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. Here we go. As we are setting up, we are settling in. As a reminder, of course, Reynor, he is in South Korea, so there's no ping involved when it comes to Reynor series against Gumiho or against any of the Koreans. Is in Korea, and I believe he plans to stay in Korea for at least as long as RSL is taking place. RSL, for those that are unaware, there is an offline qualifier happening in December, happening on the 13th of December. So Reynor, he is in Korea to be a part of that event as well, to compete amongst all these Koreans, of course, and to take part in the RSL, in the qualifier at least. It's still going to be a difficult qualifier, is what I will say. It's not going to be easy. But Reynor is gearing up for it. So now Reynor just going for his own hatch gas pool, and welcome to Winter Madness. Now, I did not like the idea of Gumiho going into mech on Tourmaline because of how open it was. I mean, we spoke about it and we saw it come into play as well. Like, it's just so open. There are so few choke points. It is difficult to turtle up on Tourmaline. It is easier to turtle up here. Here, welcome to Winter Madness. We spoke about this previously, but there is a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, narrow ramp coming into the third base, and also a narrow entrance here in towards the fourth as well. I say narrow more so than some of these other maps like Ruby Rock, like Tourmaline, for example. Also, longer rush distance by ground. So if there was a map for Gumiho to turtle up and mech on, it would be Winter Madness. But I've said this before as well, I don't like the idea of going for the same style 2 games in a row. I feel like Gumiho did show his hand too soon, too quickly in Tourmaline. Again, I feel like Tourmaline was working against Gumiho as well, so it is a bit of a shame that he already revealed mech there instead of trying to fake his opponent out and trying to have Reynor second guess himself. The idea of going into mech 2 games in a row, I'm a little bit less fond of, but we'll see. We'll see what Gumiho goes for. He might just play bio. As Gumiho pokes in, gets a Zergling, not bad. Sling pokes in, pokes out. And behind this, are we going for a third TC? We are. There we go, third TC's on the way. So as opposed to last game, this time we have a much more economic build here by Gumiho, going for a third TC before Starport. Remember last game, it was Starport before third TC. So much more economic, which makes sense on a larger map. Still going for the Starport follow-up. Now this can still lead into mech, of course. This is a very diverse and very versatile build, of course. This can lead into mech, can lead into bio. There's the add-on swap into Hellion production, as Gumiho does hunt down that first Overlord. The Reaper does intercept, and the Overlord is going to go down. Nice pickoff. Gumiho hunts down the Overlord. From here, Gumiho going for a Viking first. Very interesting. The purpose of the Viking is to hide his follow-up, is to go for a delayed tech lab, which means we could see a fusion core. That is an option. Slings, they're looking for a way in. No fusion core, goes for the add-on swap into delayed Banshees. Lings are getting to the mineral line, Hellions are out of position, and SCVs are going to be going down. Deny some mining, but nothing major. Okay. No major losses. Lings pull away. And Gumiho defends well. He defends well. That could have been so much worse. He landed the Viking, shut down the Lings. Reynor, he's going for roaches. And Gumiho, he throws down more factories. It's going to be mech. He's making it up. But this time in a more economic way. As Gumiho dives into the natural, this time Reynor's out of position, and drones are going to get roasted. Ooh, damage is finally being done. A much better start here for Gumiho. Gets 3 drones, but he doesn't get much more than that. He's trying to make his way through. A bit of an awkward engage. Ooh, the drones, they come back too soon. 5 drones. 5 drone kills, and oh, we are overextending. Yeah, Gumiho with the miss rally. But so far, this is a better start compared to last game. Remember last game, I think Gumiho lost 3 different waves of Hellions and he didn't get a single drone. This time, gets 5 with the first wave. As Gumiho is going for a faster armory, for faster upgrades. Building up into Battle Mech this time, okay. Going into Hellion Cyclone, so Gumiho is mixing it up. I will see if this is just like 2 safety Cyclones and then he switches into tanks, or if he does continue Cyclone production. Oh, he continues, okay. Going into Macfield. As we mentioned previously, this build and this style and this composition is weaker than what it once was. It is now easier to micro against and to break said lock-ons. It's not as oppressive as it once was. So we'll see what Gumiho can get done. But now Reynor is droning, saturating, he can get up to, what, 4-way saturation. Droning up a little bit harder, the Sage Bit is on the way. Bearing in mind that because it's going to be Battle Mech, going into Swarm Host is less viable, and the Battle Mech is revealed. Reynor knows. Reynor knows they should be going for a more mobile composition instead, going into Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Yep, melee upgrades for the Ling Bane. Or at least for the Ling. Gumiho shocking around. We got the Safety Infestor on the way, that will help. Lock down the army to land those fungals. So far, Reynor is keeping up. It's keeping up, no major damage. Gumiho, who's at least maintaining map control and denying it creep, but with this, he can get a 4th CC up and running and build up into a greater economy. I will say that soon, Gumiho should be switching into tanks. I feel like staying on Hellion Cyclone for too long is a bit of a trap that you don't want to be stuck in. But so far, he is committing. There we go. Tank production has begun, thankfully. So he's getting out of it. He's getting out of the Cyclones. As we mentioned, like the Hellion Cyclone does have a bit of a life expectancy. Like it does have an expiration date. As it does get outscaled. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a pause. So we are switching up into those tanks. So far, no major engagements yet. And we're getting ready for those fungals. Again, Gumiho has to be so careful with his movement here. He cannot get caught out. Having on the hatchery. That's forced to cancel. As we do have that fungal. Meanwhile, here comes out Ling Bane. Shuts down the first chunk of Cyclones. And again, Gumi has to be so careful about pushing onto Kree. One fungal and he will lose the Cyclones. Speaking of, pushing quite far in. Oh. Toss avoid the Cyclone. Reynor behind this, getting ready for Broodlords. Spire's on the way. Hive is done. And Gumi is being so aggressive with this here. I expected him to build up his tanks at home to turtle up, but no, he's pushing with them. So really nice setup here by Gumiho. As he will lose one tank. But this entire game he's been fighting for map control for this moment. This is it. This has to end the game. This has to break Reynor. As he's so committed. Reynor, he has to be patient. Catching some Hellbats. Hellbats go down. The siege line is not ready. Tank gets picked off as well. And not a bad fight here from Reynor. Okay, takes over the low ground. Shuts down the Hellbats. And Gumiho did overextend. Again, most of his tanks were on the high ground. They were not within range. Like, most of these tanks were not engaging whatsoever. Oof. Yeah, Fungal lands, goes for the neural, and Gumiho is just getting picked apart. Getting picked apart. Sniping the Banshees, sniping the Cyclones. Tanks are all exposed. Now there's no support, and every tank here should go down. Again, just really patient play by Reynor, and again, Gumiho getting impatient. Moved in too far, lost the tanks, lost the Cyclones, and Reynor can just rally. At this point, he can just rally in. Even going for the match neural. GG gets called, and Reynor, he will take the series 2-0, taking down Gumiho and advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations, Reynor. He will take the series. Winding it back again, Gumiho, I did like the build overall. Winding it back, he opened up with a Hellion Cyclone, and he was not overly aggressive. He was only denying creep. Only posturing in the center of the map, and did of course switch into his heavy tank count instead. And he pushed. He had a pretty terrifying army. But towards the end, when it came to that final fight, we did mention it, Gumiho, he had most of his tanks behind his army further back on the high ground, and I want to say only one tank was within range. Only one tank. He had one tank on the low ground that was unsieged. I think there was one tank on the ramp itself, so he was just too far forward. He engaged, he committed to a fight too far forward. Most of his tanks were not fighting whatsoever. And GG well played. He lost his buffer, he lost his battle mech, and then his regular mech as well. GG well played with that. Again, just really patient play by Reynor, just going for the most opportune engagements he could, and Gumiho just getting a little bit too excited and just overextending towards the end there. Getting a little bit impatient. GG well played. With that, we are now getting ready for our final series of the broadcast. We're getting ready for our PVZ herO versus Solar best of 5. Let's go. The final series of the broadcast. Once again, as a reminder, Reynor, he will advance on to the upper bracket semifinals, where Reynor, he's waiting for the winner of Showtime and Mana. Waiting for the winner. Meanwhile, we are here in the lower bracket to determine who is going to be eliminated from the tournament. Who is out? Will it be herO? Will it be Solar? Let's go. Again, this is it. This is the final series. We are loading into Tourmaline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. And again, this is the lower bracket. This is the elimination match. Because of that, this is a best of 5. Not a best of 3, but a best of 5 instead. Now, we have seen these two trade very often, trade back and forth. It's hard to kind of say who's favorite here. Solar has been very aggressive in this matchup, and his aggression failed against Classic, but I mean, there were reasons for that, of course. We spoke about Solar attempting to go into muted play. It was completely shut down. He had a really rough game there when he did attempt and failed to go muted, for example, against Classic. Likewise, this will have a really impressive defense out of Classic as well. herO, though, he's typically more aggressive, more active. He typically is more in your face compared to Classic, so we'll see how they compare. We'll see how these two aggressive beasts clash against each other. Duh. As from here, he will expand. Going for the gate expand here at the natural. You know, here solo going for the hatch gas pool. Now, once again, especially loading into Tourmaline, welcome to a very open map, very open, very exposed, prone to all-ins, and we do expect to see solo commit to a 3-base all-in here. We have seen solo tempted into Muta play and tempted into Roach Ravager play. We have seen some successful German taxis here on Tourmaline, true, so we have been able to experience that, but for the most part, I do like the idea of just droning up to 3 bases, getting a 4th base just for Lava, and going for a Ling Hydra all-in instead. But we'll keep an eye on Solar. Now, here, of course, he is aware just how difficult it is to defend the 3rd base here, so we should be seeing something more aggressive. The pylon is interesting to me. The pylon gets thrown down very far back. Stargate opener out of herO. We'll see if he opens Void Ray. We'll see if he goes for a Void Ray or a Phoenix opener. Because the pylon is further back, it means that the Overlord has to commit harder to actually scout what's going on. The Overlord has to expose itself. Usually when you go for a standard Oracle opener, you throw down the Stargate closer to the edge of your main to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map. So I'm curious here. Here has piqued my attention. He's piqued my interest. I mean, it could still just be a regular opener, and the Stargate may just be further back to just bait out the Overlord and just play standard from here, but we'll see. We shall see. Behind this, solo getting his 3rd base. Droning up. Yep, there it is. Void Ray. Makes sense. As we mentioned, this was one of the reasons as to why the Stargate is further back, is to go for a Void Ray. Now, because of this, 1, the Overlord has to commit harder to scout. 2, the pylon is further back, which means we can hide tech. That's the reason here. So the Void Ray will hunt down the Overlord, and then we can hide a Twilight Council, we can hide a 2nd Stargate, we can hide a Fleet Beacon, we can hide whatever we want here. So our eyes are on herO as to where he takes us. As Solo's going to be in the dark. herO going for his 3rd base at a reasonable time. Overlord is hunted down. And the scout is denied. And again, show us what you got. Ooh, early Twilight Council. Okay, so early Council into a Forge. Now, because of this early timing, I want to say there's a high chance this is charge. A high chance it's going to be +1 in charge instead. We'll keep an eye on here. Oh no, Ling's did. That should not have happened. Here, the wall was not a wall. Lings, they do slip in. They get a full scout. And Solar, he sees the timing of the early tech. He knows. More importantly, he knows what this is. And he knows there's no Fleet Beacon. There's no Stargate. There's no Tempest Rush. There's no Void Ray. There's no nonsense like that. Solo going for his own Evo Chamber. Evo Chamber into +1. herO goes into Blink. So early Blink. Eventually into +1 once he has the gas for it. So a little bit of a shaky follow-up here, but there we go. So Blink and +1. Solo just chilling, going into +1 melee. Going into melee. Now Solo doesn't play it safe. There was a chance here for him to throw down a safety Roach Warren, but he does not. So it does cut some corners. But feeling confident. And how many gateways here? We already have 2. We have 3 more on the way. I believe we're building up to 5. Yep, 5 gates so far. Is herO willing to go up to 7? We saw that Classic went for an 8-gate all-in last series against Solar on Winter Madness, if you recall. But that was after Classic had a stronger start. I mean, that's how Classic won the series, with the 8-gate. I'm sure herO was watching. But so far, only 5. Yeah, only 5. Takes his gases, he's taking up. Okay, so here he's taking up in towards a longer game state. We should be seeing a Temple Archives or a Robo soon. As here is taking a lot of gases. Solo just really droning. Just droning up, just calming down. Just hear things. Yeah. You're not wrong. Solo's going for his Hydra then. So just Ling Hydra or Ling Bane Hydra out of Solar. Standard mid game. Solo, he's cutting workers at 68, and if you recall, I did mention that I wouldn't be opposed to Solo cutting workers at 3-wake saturation and just going for a Ling Bane Hydra all in. But Solo, he's running up a little bit more. He's getting saturation at his 4th base. Ooh, that's a cancel. Okay, nice pick up with the Void Ray. Cancels the 5th. Hero moving in. And once again, he does force a cancel. Not bad. Does force that cancellation. This is a late Templar Archive, so late Storm, late splash damage. That means there's a bigger window in time where Ling Hydra can excel. Just because the splash damage is so delayed. And Solo's done droning. Solo, he's drawn up to 82. 82 workers, a hefty drone count. And now it's time for pure army production. And this is going to be a tough hold for herO. Yeah, as Lings are getting picked off. I mean, not a bad trade. herO shaves off some Zerglings. Lings, they got eyes on the tech. Archons are morphing in. Ooh, and here he's about to get surrounded. Yeah, we have a flanking army. Here he has to recall. Oof. Bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Tries to blink away. And these are expensive losses for herO. hero's trading out gas for minerals here. Trading out Stalkers for Lings. And once again, Solo, he flanks. Comes in from the right-hand side. And herO, what's he going to get away with? I'm afraid to look. He's lost 9 Stalkers so far. Does save a good chunk of Stalkers. Does make it back home, but again, just a really rough trade for herO. And Solo's almost maxed. Remember, we mentioned earlier, we brought up that Solo, he droned up to 82, and he's done droning. He's done droning at 82. He's cutting tech. He's coming to a lair tech all in. Takes down the Phoenixes, takes down the Void Ray, the Archon as well. Only Stalkers remaining. We have the Fleet Beacon on the way. That's ambitious. Very ambitious from herO. As herO, he barely has anything remaining. He's down to purely Stalker. Storm just began. Insanely late Storm. And Solo can soon just go for the kill. He's almost maxed. Solo's almost maxed out. Again, there's no Hive, there's no Lurkers, there's no further tech for Solo. He doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Just lair tech all in instead. Technically, this does mean that if herO can somehow defend and survive and get a 4-base economy, then herO will take a lead. But the problem is that hero's playing from such a deficit. Like, he just lost too much in the lead up to this. There's no way that he should be able to defend. No shot. Solo does zone away. Solo, he has control of the high ground. Bailings, they peel off into the mineral line. Up, going for that Templar. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. 3 at Templar go down, which means there are no storms. And no storms. The 4th base goes down. And Solo, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks through the front lines, breaks into the natural. Going for the mineral line. There's no saving this. herO tries to pull away. GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a quirky style here out of herO. herO winding it back. He went for a Void Ray opener into attempted hidden +1 and blink. I believe the goal would have been to go into charge, but he did switch to blink after he got scouted. And herO, he was just overly aggressive here. He had a shaky start. He was able to deny the 5th base. True, he denied the 5th base, but he overextended with his Stalkers. Solo freely droned up to 82, and from there just made nothing but Ling Hydra. herO overextended, and he lost everything. He lost so many Stalkers that weakened his defense, and again, he tried to build up in towards Archons and Templar and Storm, but Just too far behind. Too far behind. GG, well played. With that, Solo takes the lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. Let's go. Going to be loading into Celestial Enclave for the first time tonight. The first time. A very large map in the map pool. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Celestial Enclave. Oh, hello. Crazy on a large map, by the way. Going for a 12 pool. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg leading the series 1-0. I understand the logic. We'll get into it. Going for the 12 pool for Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue, sorry, the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss for T1. It is a herO. Oh boy. Now, this is a big gamble here from Solar. Solar's going for a 12 pool. Now, the rush distance by ground on Celestial is very large. Very large rush distance by ground. So that I don't like about the decision for going for the 12 pool. But if you know anything about Celestial Enclave, it is a very, very greedy map. You have a pocket. Are we going Nexus first? This is what Soul's hoping for. Nexus first. Oh god. This is what I mentioned at the beginning, how I'm like, this is a big risk, but there's a reason for it. So Solar, you are so tempted to cut corners and be greedy on Celestial Enclave. herO, he gets baited in, he goes for the Nexus first, and herO, no probe scout. That again, hyper greed out of herO. Nexus first, 0 probe scout. He sees nothing. The boys are being pulled. There's a second entrance into the main base, so even if herO did have some SimCity here, then you can just mineral walk in towards the bases. And Solar, he commits to the all-in. He commits in the end. herO sees nothing, he knows nothing, and herO should not survive this. No shot. Unless he was, I mean, again, here his pylon here is further back in the mineral line. He has a gateway here, so he has no wall to begin with. Solar, he checks. Yep, nothing on the low ground. And again, it's a big gamble. And Solar, once he checks the ramp, once he sees how open it is, I mean, there's going to be a smile on his face. herO is going to have to micro his heart out. Does have a Zealot on the way, thankfully. Does have a Zealot in production. He can, of course, mineral walk his own probes. He can mineral walk. There's a Chrono. Chrono's on the gateway. Lings, they do slip in. Going for the pylon. Jesus. Yeah, going for the pylon. Oh, has to be careful not to get surrounded. Nice mineral walking. Very nice round by herO. Oh no. Okay, so herO surrounds. herO, he wins the main fight. Zealot is going to fall, but the probes are going to kill everything. Solar. Yes, Solar, he did miscontrol earlier. herO, he gets a full surround, and the probes, the boys, they defend. GG gets called. Miscontrol by Solar, got surrounded, and herO defends with purely probes. GG. Very impressive. GG, well played. Solar, he unfortunately got half his army stuck in the mineral line. He if you remember, he split up his army, half on one side, half on the other side of the pylon, and he got fully surrounded by the probes. He got fully surrounded, not even just that, but he got mineral walked into as well. So miscontrol by Solar. He should not have been there. He should have been more careful with his movements. Got surrounded. GG. The stars were aligning. That was like the best case scenario, by the way, for Solar. It was Nexus first, open ramp, open main base as well. The one thing that was working against Solar is that herO was going for a safety zealot. Right here, he was making a safety blind zealot. That was the one thing that was helping herO in that situation, was getting a faster zealot out. But yeah, Solar got surrounded. GG. GG, well played. Again, I fully understand the logic there for Solar to commit and go for the 12 pool and go for the all-in. Like, things were aligning, but GG, well played. Whew. With that, we are now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Crazy, might be crazy. But here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons, being forced into a tight series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, we have the South Korean Protoss. For T1, it is herO. I says no chance, and herO just laughs and does a boys only defense. I love this kid. He's crazy, man. He's crazy. But again, like, I feel like you would not have gotten a better situation there for Solar, aside from the fact that he made the Blind Zealot, right? He did make the Blind Zealot, which he was able to chrono out, which did help. But even despite that, even if the Zealot wasn't there, like, based on that defense from herO, like, Papi, he was crazy. It's insane. So again, a very impressive defense there by herO. And now we have a series. Now we have a back and forth. Bearing in mind this is a best of 5, not a best of 3. Bear that in mind. Solar does go... Ooh. That was a hatch pool opener. Delayed gas. Okay. Interesting. The gas isn't too late, but it is later than what we expect. This might be for... it's still early. Like, I say early. I was thinking this might be for a delayed gas opener, for a gas-less opener, but it's still going to get there. There is a chance that maybe Solar skips link speed. He might skip link speed and go for faster tech and stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. We'll see. We'll see. For the most part, he should be fine. Yeah, it's pulling in. But welcome to White Rabbit for the first time this broadcast. True. Welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a larger map of the map pool, a much larger map. Similar to Taito Citadel, it does have a very spread out 4-base setup. You have the linear 3rd base and the triangular 4th base, and there is a lot of actually room to traverse. There's a lot of room to traverse, and there is this massive entrance in between the bases to punish as well. So there's a big entrance that you can look to abuse. So this isn't the easiest map to turtle up on. We have seen players, instead of expanding at the triangular 3rd, they go for the linear 3rd base and then they expand forward into the center of the map, or they expand forward and then backwards behind them into that linear 3rd base. So we have seen a more centralized kind of like base setup here instead, referring to the Protoss side of things. So we'll see if he goes for that. Meanwhile, Solo going for his 3rd base. He does pull out of gas. We're settling in. You know, here opening up Stargates. Once again, the pylon is further back in between the bases, and we'll see if he does decide to hide anything. Oracle first. Does open Oracle, no Void Ray this time. Okay. It's wide open ramp is a bait. Ah, true. What was the point of those Phoenixes? I believe that was in reference to game 1. That's a good question. I didn't really bring too much attention to it, but in game 1, if you remember, herO, he did start making Phoenixes. That was before Storm, if you recall. He was going Temple Archives into some Phoenix production. I believe he was misreading and assuming that maybe Solo was going Muta. I think that might have been the case. I didn't check to see if he had scouted the Hydra Den, but that would have to be my assumption, is that he was maybe like trying to hard counter Muta play, which wasn't the case. That's the only like answer in my mind for going Phoenixes that late. For now, they're early Twilight Council. Okay, so we go for the earlier Council, late Forge. You have my attention. 3 more gates. That's going to be 4 gates in total. This looks like Glaives. This could be Glaives or it could be early Blink, one or the other. They both have their place. We'll keep an eye on herO. As the Oracle dips in. Dips in, pulls away, takes a lot of hits. If we see no Forge, then this should be Glaives. And I don't see a Forge. Show us what you got. Yep, Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts, no Forge. This is a very aggressive follow-up here from herO. No Spore. No Spore either. Getting 1, 2, 3, up to 4 drone kills. 5 drones even. Oh my god. 5 drones go down and a tumor. And here he's setting up. He's setting up here. Is forcing Solar to re-drone, to resaturate, and Solar is skipping roaches. Bold move. It is standard. To be fair, going into a macro game, it is standard to skip roaches. We're going into banelings instead. This tells me that Solar is vulnerable, but if he can scout what's coming ahead of time, if he can morph in those banelings, then Solar can hold. Without banelings, though, he's going to just be overwhelmed. Now, there is a bit of a give and take here. Because we're going into Glaives, it means 2 things. The Forge is late. Blink is late as well. Here, he's delaying a lot of his tech, which means he needs this to get damage done. He needs these adepts that he's banking up back at home to wreak havoc and to deal at least equalizing damage, if not even just kill Solar. And here he comes. Here come the adepts. Baneliness is done. We have 10 Banelings morphing in. but they're morphing in across the map. Uh-oh. I don't know what they need to be. Yeah, they know what they need to be. Banelings are going to be out of position. We have 2 defensive Banelings back at home. No, 3 defensive Banelings, getting a 4th. Lings, they try to engage. Decent kiting. Yeah, the Zerglings, they will go down. Adepts, they shade into the main base, and they commit to the shade. Oh, the Banelings. Ooh, one connects. Nice control there towards the end. Baits out one of the Banelings. But here he's running out of steam. He's running out of steam, running out of Adepts. Despite that, 2 Adepts, they shade into the natural. 10 drones. 10, 12 drones going down. Critical damage. 13 drone kills. Ay. Not just 13 drones, but remember, we had more damage earlier. 18 drones in total. 18 workers. And these Banelings, they were left idle. Solar, he's all in. You can see here, 18 Lings in production. Solar, he's not droning. He's all in. Cutting workers at 40. And either Solar kills herO or dies trying. He's going for it. Banelings are making their way into the mineral line. Nice positioning here by herO. Shield battery goes down. 2 Banelings get in. Just 2. Yeah, only 2 Banelings. There's the NG overcharge. Banelings, they don't quite find any connections. There we go. 6 probe kills. That's not good enough. And herO holds. GG. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and herO takes a 2-1 lead in the series. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, unfortunately, Solar didn't scout. Solar, he did not know what was going on. He was unaware of the Massaclave Adepts, and blindly, Solar was going for his own Baneling aggression. Remember, he was morphing in 10 Banelings across the map, and they did nothing. They did nothing. They were a waste of supply because Solar was getting ready for his own aggression, and he was punished for it. That's why the Adepts did so much damage. They killed 18 drones in total alongside the Oracles. They crippled the link count, and Solar was forced into the all-in. GG. GG, well played. herO takes the lead, and now we're loading into game number 4. We'll see if Solar can bring it back and force the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Bunny Carano. Not today, Pappy, not today. Smurge, Pappy, Smurge. For those that are unaware, I think it had... I think it lasted like 4 or 5 days, but I did have a bunny cam. So for those who aren't aware, a couple of months ago, I got some pet bunnies. I did have a camera set up to see the enclosure, and it lasted less than a week because the camera did fall into the enclosure and it was dragged into the water bowl. And camera is no longer. It's no longer with us. It's no longer with us. I tried to save it, putting into a rice bag. Did not save it. So F's in the chat for the bunny cam. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we do have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Solar for Team Falcons. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. As herO is up in the series and 1 game away from claiming the series here against Solar. Oh boy, the pressure is on. Lamixu, show us the bunnies. They literally destroyed the camera. What do you... It's not good enough. Smurge, baby, smurge. Here we go. We are going to be setting up. So far, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Solar. Meanwhile, herO going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, more defensive map as well. Bear that in mind. We spoke about this previously, but this is the most defensive map in the map pool. It's not as intense as Tokamak. True. It's not as defensive as Tokamak, but regardless, it is the best we have in the current map pool here. So if herO were to play standard for the first time and go Stargate into a 3rd base, into +1 and Blink, into Storm, into a 4th base, and Turtle up into Skytoss, this is the map to do it on. This is the map. Now, there's a high chance that we see standard play out of herO, and because of that, there's a high chance we might even see Spire out of Solar. It is difficult to all in and difficult to break a turtling player on Winter Madness, so a way to kind of bypass that is to go into Spire and into Muta play. So that's going to be on the table here for Solar. We'll see if he does go for it. If you remember, he did go Mutas against Classic earlier in the broadcast. On a different map, to be fair. I think it was on the Old Republic, that's it. to go mutas on the Old Republic, which did not work well. It was definitely a questionable move out of Solar. But here we go. So far, everything's looking normal, and we'll see if we do kind of stay the path. Bunny's alright. Didn't tell you the bunnies are bred from the rabbit in Monty Python's Quest for the Holy Grail. I would believe that for one of them. One of my bunnies is very feisty, very energetic. He's looking for the pillar. Oh no, Solar! You could see the look in the Overlord's eyes. Solar, you could see him do like a 360, like a full like turnaround, and he was looking for a pillar, and it was like, oh, there's nothing here. Oh no, feels bad, man. You could see the desperation in the Overlord. Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, it's a new map pool. We're getting used to it. There's no pillar here, Pappy. No pillar. Ah. Feels bad, man. Just a look of terror and devastation once the realization set in for the Overlord. Ah. As for now, we just see a handful of Lings poking across the map. There is a defensive Oracle, so herO should be fine. Stasis goes off on one of the drones, and here he's going for a more standard timing here with the Forge and Twilight Council. More standard timing. It's got big teeth. Oh no. But yes, if you're curious, I do post some photos in the Discord. Discord server, we have an animals channel. There's some photos of the bunnies if you want to see them. They're very cute, but also one of them is an animal. Animal. She's very energetic, very feisty, always looking for a way out, always testing the boundaries of the limitations of the room. For now, though. For now, it is going to be Ling Bane as a follow-up here from Solar, going to +1 melee. Meanwhile, we see herO, taking up. As we mentioned before, we did expect to see standard play to herO, and for the first time this series, that's what we're getting. And this map just favors it, right? Just favors that kind of style. So Temple Archives into Storm. Once we get into Storm, herO can take a 4th base. You can just take a 4th base and turtle up on 4 bases, and then work towards Sky Toss. Meanwhile, Solar is still droning. He's still droning, still saturating. Lings are looking for a way in. But again, there's a defensive Oracle, so Lings, they can't really do much. Yep, there's Storm. Here comes the Sim City. Here he's walling up. He's walling off his base, he's taking his gases. Behind the Solar, he's going for a Hydrogen, so he's not going into mutas. We have the answer. If you remember, we spoke about how muta play is going to be an option here for Solar. He's choosing not to go into mutas. He's going into Ling Bane Hydra, and this is where Solar has to make another big choice. Does he drone up to 4 bases? Does he take gases? And do we head towards Hive Tech? And do we embrace the late game against herO? Or do we go for a Lair Tech all-in? As I said before, I do feel like Lair Tech all-ins are weaker on Winter Madness, just because of the map itself. As you can see, we have cannons on the way, we have shield batteries on the way. Solar, he sees the defensive setup here. And Solar, he's staying on a lower gas. Okay, he's taking gas. There we go, he makes a decision. So he sees the defense, takes the gas, infestation bit, Hive, Lurker Tech. Solar is not going for the all-in, he's droning. We're going for the late game. Bold move. Bold move here out of Solar. Here comes the 4th base for herO. We're slowing things down. You can see Solar, he's setting up. Opening up the center of the map. Spreading as much creep as he can. Ooh, snipes the Oracle. Very nice snipe. Takes down the Oracle. And again, herO, I feel like at this point is when we want to fleet beacon. I mean, it would be early, true, but we have seen players like herO in Classic get away with it, going for around like a sub 8-minute fleet beacon and getting ready for their mothership and the Tempest. But instead, herO is sticking with the ground army for the time being. Banelings are coming in from behind, so collapsing on this army. Banelings, they make their way into the mineral line, they crash in with the Zealots, nice connections. And Solo, he's going for the fourth. He's going for the fourth base. Can he force a cancel? Here he does respond. Storms are coming in. Ooh, Oracle gets sniped. Nice pick up for the Oracle. Hydras don't have speed. Oh, the Hydras, they're slowly slithering away. Get out of here. You did not want to get caught in Storm. No, with slow Hydras. But Solo, he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. What did he get? The Oracle. Right, he sniped the Oracle. He traded against the Zealots. Didn't kill the fourth base, but it was a decent trade nonetheless. Meanwhile, now we see the fleet beacon. I do believe that we could have seen this a little bit earlier. We could have seen this a little bit sooner. But regardless, here he's working towards Skytos. Oh, he has to be careful there. He's out in the open. Solar coming in from behind, coming in just around. Okay, here he's getting caught out. Solar goes to the counterattack instead. I get spotted. Yeah, Solar gets spotted. And who catches who? Solo's meant to surround, and now Solo gets surrounded instead. And this is expensive. That's a lot of Hydras. That's going to be 8 Hydras trying to run away. Oh no, the Templar! Oh my god, Templar get caught out. One Templar goes down, forcing out Storms. Yeah, messy engage here from herO. Solo sets up the surround, herO surrounds Solo, and then Solo flanks herO. It's a lot of movement. And here come the Lurkers. The Lurkers are on the way. And did herO lose too much? herO, he's down to 4 High Templar. He's down to 4. Solo's building up. Again, there's a window. There's a window in time where Solo can try to kill herO before Skytos. Right? He's got his Lurkers. You can see that Skytos is coming, but it takes some time. It takes some time. This is also why I kind of want to see the faster fleet beacon out of herO. But here we go. Lings, they poke in. We have Ling main towards the left-hand side. We have the main army towards the center. herO going for the counterattack? Wait, what? Uh-oh. herO, what's the plan? herO, he abandons his bases as Solo, he's going to push into the natural. Oh my god, the storm! Massive storm in the mineral line, or massive storm at the entrance. Lings, they break into the mineral line, and herO, we commit to the base trade. He will kill a base. At the same time, Solo, he's pushing into the natural. He denies +1 air attack. And this is a questionable move out of herO. As herO, he will lose everything here. He will lose the mineral line, he will lose the bases. herO, he commits in, he lost all the High Templar. And herO should lose this army. he should lose everything here. As Solo is building up his reinforcements. Again, herO, he made a decision. He could have turned around, he could have defended. There's a world where he could have just turned around and taken control of this ramp. But maybe he believed he was too far behind. Maybe he believed that even if he was in position that he could not deal with that many Lurkers possible. And here he lost his natural. He lost his mineral line here at the 4th base. Here has been pulled apart. And herO has been broken. Ooh, nice slow zone. Nice slow zone with Lurkers. Phase of 1, 2, 3 Lurkers. Very nice pickups out of herO. But Soul just has to back off, max out, and just go for the kill. Vipers are on the way. Spire's done. Corruptors are on the way as well. Oh no! Yeah, transferring workers get caught out as well. Solo rotates towards the 4th base. Moving in. Storm does try to zone away. Tempest are exposed. Taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. And Solo, he has done it. He's getting on top of the 4th expansion. And I don't see how herO can save this. Oof, massive lurker shots going off. Takes down the High Templar. The mineral line. And the expansion. And here he's down to 2 bases. He's down to his main base and he's down to his 3rd. 2 bases left. 1.5 bases really when it comes to the economy. herO's completely all in. This is all he has left. Here he has 1 High Templar, 1 Templar, 1 Archon, 5 Tempest. Tempest count is high, but he needs support because there are Corruptors. Corruptors have hit the field. Hit the field, blinding cloud, diving on the Tempest, gets one, gets two Tempests go down. There's nothing left on the ground. And now even the Hydras can just go toe-to-toe with the Tempest. And GG gets called. Solar ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. As we are getting into game number 5 here. Again, herO, he did decide to go for a more standard build, a more economic and a more tech-heavy and more defensive build. Going into Storm, going into Skytoss. I would say that he was a little bit late to transition into Skytoss, a little bit late to get his 4th base, but more importantly, he did decide to go for the base trade. I do believe that herO had time to react to the lurkers, to react to the army pushing towards the natural, but he chose not to. He chose to counterattack. I believe the hope there for herO was to force Soul to turn around. I think that was the goal there, to force the Zerg player to turn back around and to defend back at home, but Soul just committed. He had plenty of reinforcements at home. He committed in, he brought down the natural, and from there he was able to end the game. GG, well played, and now we're getting into the ace match, the final game of the series, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Let's see in the chat, who did Solo lose to? Classic. We casted Solo versus Classic earlier in the broadcast, earlier in the day. And Solo got knocked down by Classic. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player. The Red Protoss player himself representing T1. It is herO. Animal's channel, it's not us. True. No. Only one of them is an animal. Only one. But here we go. Welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground, more accessible 3rd and 4th expansions, so we expect to see more aggression from both players, right? We expect to see Solar cutting workers earlier and going for 3-base play. We're expecting herO to go for earlier tech as well. Oh. Okay. So just like last game, it's going to be a hatch pool gas, but the gas isn't too delayed. This is actually very similar to Cham's opener. Cham, he also does go for like a bit of a weirder gas timing. What I will say is that this doesn't really impact as much in this matchup. Ling speed is not the most important of upgrades in ZVP early on, so you can get away with delaying gas and delaying Ling speed. Oh, but he does prioritize saturation. Interesting. So he does pull in. Behind this, we should be seeing a Stargate open out of herO. Once again, herO does throw down his pylon closer to his mineral line. We've seen this quite consistently here from herO. Once again, traditionally, the pylon and the Stargate is close to the edge to make sure the Oracle gets as much damage as possible and gets across the map as quickly as possible. But with this kind of setup, we could potentially hide tech further back. Potentially. More aggression from herO, is that possible? I mean, yes, if you watch the last game, herO was very passive. He was very passive, he was very defensive. Remember last game on Winter Madness, herO, he went for a very defensive and more tech-heavy build. That's why he was trying to rush into Skytoss, or trying to get to Skytoss. So compared to last game, we should be seeing more aggression. So Overlord is going to be zoned away. Interesting. We went Adept into Stalker. Okay. This is a little bit rare. You would almost never go into Stalker like this just so you can have an extra Adept across the map to harass. Remember, 2 Adepts, they can one-shot drones, and they also have a better role when it comes to defending the third base as well. To go for the Stalker is solely to deny vision, solely to keep Solar in the dark. Okay. So it goes for the Stalker, pins down the Overlord. Is going to be so far a standard opener with the Oracle. He wants that Overlord. Here he wants the Overlord. He's going to get it. Overlord is going to be hunted down. One more shot. Does supply block Solar. And behind this hero is going for a second Oracle into a Twilight Council at around the halfway mark. Okay. It is a little bit earlier than normal, but not by too much. And we'll see if hero goes into a Forge. So earlier Council, delayed Forge. But we're lacking gateways, so we'll see. There's a chance this might be glaives, otherwise we could even just go, yep, there we go. 3 more gates are on the way, Oracles they dive in, and this should be glaive adepts for hero. As he does pick up a Queen. Queen goes down, gets a drone. Oh, it's gonna be a third option. No blink because of no forge, no glaives though. We're going for a very early charge timing. But we're playing roaches. So early charge at a hero. If Solar were to skip roaches, which is common, we've seen it time and time again this series. When was the last time Solar actually made roaches? Actually, he's been playing very heavily Ling Hydra, right? Very Ling Hydra focused. And if this was Ling Hydra at a Solar, then he'd be vulnerable, but going into roaches does mean that Solar should be safe, especially because he's going to +1 range, not melee. So Solar is going for a very roach heavy composition, and I am concerned for hero. Now there's still a window, there's still a chance. If Solar drones up too much, if he doesn't make safety roaches, then hero can find an opening. But there's a lot riding here on this charge timing. You can see he's banking up the Zealots. He's banking the Zealots. Doesn't reveal any. He's got 2 hidden here towards the left-hand side. And Solar. Do you see what I see? Solar has a Roach Warren. Solar's getting +1 range. Solar has 0 roaches. Uh-oh. 0 roaches for Solar. He moved out. He gets spotted. Yeah, he gets spotted. He gets spotted. Instantly, roach production has begun. Is this too late? Hero, he's rushing across the map. We have 10 roaches in production. Solar, he has to buy time. He has to buy time for the roaches. If he can, then he will defend, and then he can counterattack. So Hero's on a timer. Does rush in. Where are we headed? Going for the queens. Yeah, it does have in the queens. Our first queen gets surrounded. Roaches are trickling in. And so far, decent round here with these roaches. Yeah, he's going to get every single queen. Queens are going down. Roaches are trickling in. Nice round of the first wave of roaches. Stasis goes off. Oh my god, Stasis goes off. There's only 3 roaches left. Oh, getting up to 5. Yeah, the roach kind of slowly building up. That's a lot of damage here. Zealots are going to surround. They get a surround of the roaches. And hero, he may just have enough here. It's still close. Still close. More roaches are amassing. Yeah, roaches are building up. Zealots are getting, yeah, they're dropping out here in the mineral line, and Solar holds. So, oh, I spoke too soon. Solar, he was holding. More roaches, more Zealots rally. Getting on top of the third base, we have more Zealots on the way. As hero, he attempts to surround, pulling back. But Solar does hold on behind this. We have Blink on the way, +1. Immortal production has begun. And hero, he doesn't kill Solar, but he trades well enough. He traded well. Looking at the install stat, but he killed 16 roaches. That's a lot of roaches. 16 roaches just went down. 6 queens as well, and he denied mining. So he doesn't kill, but he does cripple. He does cripple Solar, and this gives hero the time he needs to switch out of Zealot into Blink Stalker, into double Robo, double Immortal production. That's a lot of Immortals. So hero, he's done well enough. He's traded well enough here. Again, there's a world where if Solar had gone roaches earlier, imagine this army with 16 extra roaches. He shuts down the first Zealot push, then he counterattacks and kills the third. Right, and then just ends the game. But again, it was still a late scout from Solar, a late realization as to what was happening. And Solar, he's all in. Yeah, he's going for the all in. Solar, you can see that he has no droning at the 4th base, and even here at the 3rd, undersaturated. Undersaturated 3rd base. He's cutting works at 54. He's going for the Roach Queen all in. Roach Queen all in. He's walking across the map. The queens are waddling, but he's running into Mass Immortal. Ah no, he's running into double robot production. Immortals, they shut this down. We have disruptors on the way behind this. Biles, they will graze the army. They connect with the sentry. They connect with the sentry. herO does kite back. Yeah, kite's back. Disruptor has arrived. Nova goes off. No connection. Does connect with one roach. There's one Nova left. herO, he's holding on to it. Nova, yeah, won't quite go off. And Solar, can he pull this off here? There's 2 immortals left. No shield batteries, true. Yeah, no batteries. One immortal goes down. No prism either. Gets 1, gets 2 immortals. Solar, he's not trading too poorly, but now there's another disruptor. And Novas are going off. This time we have a better connection. Nova goes off. Solar, he's still so close to breaking herO. Takes down one of the disruptors. Gets 1, gets 2. Zealots are trying to reinforce. And here he just has to spend his money. Yeah, here comes the warp in. The boys are being pulled. Blinks on top of the Ravagers. Nice splits towards the end. The final Ravagers are being focused down. There's 1 Ravager left. And here he's holding on. Bad. Yeah, he barely holds on. He wants that Ravager. He wants it. Settles with the queens. More roaches are reinforcing. It's a lot of roaches. Oof. But Novas are connecting. Stalkers, they mass up. They've got +1, +2 is almost done for herO. And herO survives. Okay, we're done with the charge lots. He's successfully switched into Mass Stalker. Mass Stalker Disruptor. And remember, Solar, he wasn't droning. He was not droning up. You can see saturation here. This is Solar transferring because he's been mining out. He's been mining out of his main base. He transfers over. He has not been droning. Solar has been very all in, and the all in fails. He traded with the army, but he didn't touch the economy. And here he survives. He's in a better position, building up more disruptors. And Solar, he's being outscaled. He's being outscaled over time. Solar, he's droning. He has to re-drone. He has to saturate. He has to build up an economy, but he's stuck with a very mid-tier army. I would prefer this if we had stopped disruptors at 4 and start Colossus. We're getting into 6 disruptors, and disruptors that are very hit and miss in more ways than one. There is a world where if herO gets surrounded, he may lose his disruptors without barely any Novas connecting. So here he has to be very careful. It's a very fragile army. It's quite rare to see this many disruptors in ZVP. Solar is massing up his Ling Bane. Something that's going to be helping Solar here is that Solar isn't overdroning. Like Solar, he's expecting a push. That's why he's just massing up a mass amount of Ling Bane Roach Ravager. He's waiting for herO to push into him, and herO is pushing. So Solar, he has a chance. He has a standing army. He just needs the best engagement possible. He has to come in from behind, surround the army. You can see he's trying to flank. Oh, never mind. He's trying to flank, but barely with anything. And Nova goes off. Oh. Yeah, Novas, they do connect. Nicely done. Bailings are crashing into the charge lots. herO getting a little bit desperate. Yeah, a little bit trigger happy here. The Novas do not connect. They do not connect. Yeah, herO panicking. Oof. Does pull away. Better connections towards the end. Down to 3 disruptors. He had 8, if I'm not mistaken. Like 6 to 8 disruptors. Zealots, they peel off into the mineral line. A nice Zealot run by. herO pushing in. Behind this, we could do with Immortals, by the way. Just warping in more zealots, getting into the main base. Massive warping commits. Massive warping complete. And here is done it. Yeah, here he is done it. The Novas are connecting. He's breaking the main army. Was an intense series, went back and forth, went all the way to the ace match, and we had a little diversity as well. But GG gets called, and herO, he will take the series 3-2, eliminating Solar from the tournament. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO, as it does claim the series, does take down Solar. And again, we had a lot here in this matchup. We did have a 12-pool drone pool out of Solar on Celestial Enclave. We did have herO even going into a standard game on Winter Madness, if you recall. For the first time, we had Glaive Adepts popping off. Here we had herO being cheeky, going into an early Zealot timing, an early charge timing specifically. It was risky. It was a big risk to take. Solar did open up roaches, so he had the tools to defend, but remember, Solar, he didn't scout until it was already moving out across the map. He saw the move out, so he had very little time to react, and Solar survived, but he lost a lot in the process. He lost drones, he lost queens, and he lost 16 roaches. 16 roaches in the defense. And even though herO didn't kill, he did cripple. He did cripple Solar, and he ensured that Solar didn't have enough to counterattack. We spoke about it, but if Solar was aware ahead of time, or if he had made safety roaches, there's a world where Solar doesn't lose his queens, where Solar doesn't lose his drones, where Solar has a much more efficient fight against the first army, against the first wave of zealots, and then Solar instantly counterattacks. He defends, instantly counterattacks, GG. That would have been game. That would have been game then and there. So it was a big gamble there from herO, and it barely worked out. Barely did work out. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. My condolences to Solar. That's God damn it. My condolences to Solar. GG, well played with that. Shout out to Christopher Fistap. Yay. Coming in towards the end of the broadcast, but thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much for the raid. Do appreciate the support. I hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session, as we are just now wrapping up, actually. Switching our scenes over here, we just wrapped up with our matches for the broadcast. You can see here a classic. Actually, can I zoom in a little bit? Hold on. We can zoom in. Bam. Ah, beautiful. As you can see here, Classic took down Solar 2-1 to advance on to the next round. Cure took down herO 2-1 to also advance on to the upper semifinals. So herO got knocked down, Solar got knocked down, Reynor popped off. Reynor took down Gumiho 2-0 as Gumiho attempted and failed to play with mech. And then we just had the lower bracket match conclude. You can see here, herO just limited Solar 3-2 from the lower brackets. GG, well played. But again, thank you so much, Krista. We appreciate it. Aye. Gonna have to raid live VIP then. tempted, but I would like to get some breakfast. Breakfast would be nice. Just catching up in the chat. Oh, catching up. Buff mech. Oh no. Este Krista. But we did have some mech today. Attempted mech, I should say. But we just wrapped up with our 4 matches of the broadcast here. We had 3 best of 3s and 1 best of 5. This was day 1 of the KungFu Cup November monthly tournament. And we will be continuing this event tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow we should be back with day number 2 of this tournament at this same time, this same place. So if you want to tune in to Classic versus Cure, to Showtime versus Mana, and the winner against Reynor, it's all gonna be on this channel tomorrow in less than 24 hours. We will be there. So again, we'll be continuing KungFu Cup. This is I believe 5-day event. I believe this is a 5-day tournament. So 5 days of KungFu Cup. We just wrapped up with day 1. We have 4 more days ahead of us. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Gonna eat. That's beautiful. Get some food. Take some photos. Get some nice food. Take care. Take care. But yes, we're wrapping up here for the morning at least. If you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, bam, you can see them here. Let me just quickly, there we go, clean some things up. But we have our weekly schedule. As you can see, we just wrapped up with our morning broadcast of KungFu Cup. That is Friday morning, as you can see, and you can see that tomorrow we're going to be live on Saturday with also some more KungFu Cup action in the morning and in the afternoon as well. We're going to have a back-to-back double cast of KungFu Cup action on Saturday, and we have the Tuna Cup on Sunday. So we do have our weekend ahead of us here, full of StarCraft. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. I am insanely tired, and I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Gonna go get some breakfast, get some food, and get some rest while I can. But yeah, hope you all had a great time here. And again, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more KungFu Cup action. When it comes to the rest of the month of December, remember RSL. We have the RSL offline event happening mid-December. That's going to be occurring right around the corner. We have the return of StarCraft Evolution. If you're a fan of SC Evo, the new season of StarCraft Evolution did begin this week, and we should be catching up with those matches next week, by the way. So we're going to have the return of StarCraft Evolution. Meanwhile, what other events do we have? We do have our regular weekly cups, of course, with Tunica, with the Turtle Tussle, and of course, we do have a little bit of free time to ourselves as well. You can see that Sunday morning and Friday afternoon, we do have those slots open. That is intentional. So potentially I can ladder, I can stream, I can play some StarCraft or play some other games, calm things down. I don't ladder stream here. I don't ladder stream on the CranKy Ducklings. I do ladder stream on my personal channel instead. Exclamation mark light in the chat. I did have like an hour-long ladder session yesterday, stream session, very short before the podcast. Hey, we beat a GM Terran, true, beat a barcode GM Terran, so it did feel good, man, did feel good, but we're very rusty. We're very rusty. As you can see, like, I barely have any time to stream, barely any time to ladder, but I do what I can, We do our best, We're gonna get an updated pick with Terran representation soon, TM. That's 2026 goals, okay? 2026 New Year's resolution. It'll be to get some photos with the Terran plushies. No. I mean, that's meant to, the bunny cam is meant to be there, but I need to get a new bunny cam. Ladder or no ladder, always full ladder. Exactly. So if you want to check out my personal stuff, I do stream occasionally on my personal channel, on light_VIP. That's on Twitch. Otherwise, check us out on YouTube, exclamation mark socials in the chat. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you like here, like the WarDCV Monday or the Pondcast or Tuna Cup or more KungFu Cup or StarCraft Evolution or RSL, or I mean, we cast everything. We cast everything EWC. We do cast GSL. If you want to check it out, it's all on YouTube. We also live stream on YouTube as well. So we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on Kick. And we used to be live on TikTok as well, but not anymore. Smooch. Unfortunately, the TikTok guidelines don't allow us to stream there anymore. Basically, the way that it works is I believe on TikTok you're only allowed like IRL streams or gaming streams, and casting doesn't count as gaming for them. So it's like you're not playing the game, papi. You're casting, so it doesn't count. It's like, okay, so unfortunately, we are not streaming on TikTok anymore. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping up for the time being, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Very quickly, if you want to support us monetarily, you can do so via Patreon, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments, to grow our tournaments as well. So if you want to help us grow our events, you can do so via Patreon. We do appreciate the support, and thank you so much all of our current patrons. We currently earn 599 USD a month, by the way, through Patreon, and it all goes towards our tournaments. It all goes towards the players. So thank you so much. Our next goal is at 670 to again boost the prize pool even further, working towards paying for monthly finals on a regular basis. We're getting there. We are getting there. Otherwise, thank you so much. We're going to be heading off for the time being. Enjoy yourselves. Have a great rest of your day, and have a great weekend as well. For those that are in the Americas, happy Thanksgiving. I believe Thanksgiving is today. I think today for the Americas. That's not really something celebrated here in Australia or in other places in the world, but if you're in the Americas, enjoy yourselves. Happy holidays. Get some food. Indulge, papi. Stuff yourselves. But be careful. And stick around. We'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. See you tomorrow, papi. Ciao, papi. Ciao. See you tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.